Welcome to episode 16 of the Inside Bite. I'm your host, Tim Schaefer. I'm here with my co-host, Rudy. How's it going?
Hey Tim, I'm all right. Just thought by now, since we've done this so many times, I would update everyone on my car status at this point.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
What is going on?
all right. So, my car is a 2011 car, so it's 10 years old. But the car has had so much work done to it that at this point, I'm invested. I can't just let it go. Right? I'm not gonna go buy a new car when everything's overpriced now. So I said, let me do this final repair. So I did the final repair. It's just taking like 5 days. It's a big job, and I still don't have my car yet. So my coworker's been giving me a ride to
What
work.
was exactly wrong? Because
Yeah,
it was like overheating or something.
yeah. It was that there was a problem, a leak with the head gasket. It needed to be repaired.
Okay.
So those jobs you have to take the engine out and all this. It's like a very involved job. And the most of the cost when you do these jobs comes from the labor, not even the parts, right? Even though that's big too. So now I think maybe we'll be at the end of this. I'm supposed to get my car back tomorrow, possibly the Tuesday morning. And I hope that's the end of my problems. So let's hope. Let's cross our fingers. More money for games, less money for car stuff. So, but it's been weird not driving my car for a week. I feel so useless. I hate having to bum rides off people every day.
Okay. That's what I was asking. You just pretty much having to ride with whoever.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, my partner that I work with, she lives in right near me, so it worked out.
Okay.
But I feel bad. I'm like, hey, you want some breakfast? You want some gas? You want something? She's like, it's all right. I live near you. I'm like, oh God, I just feel like, So can't wait to get back to my own car and hopefully be done with this. So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
Okay. Yeah, it's just the usual, just nothing really.
Same
I was
old.
just did a whole bonfire last night. It was
nice.
pretty cool because it's finally getting chilled enough to do that.
Uh-huh.
Because again, I live in Florida, and even a week ago, it's still just like 85 degrees outside, and you want to like kill yourself, and it's like, please, can it just cool down? But
yeah, I can't.
Thankfully, last night, like the low was like 57, and we haven't had that in ages. So
that's great.
It was perfect.
So you had a bunch of people over and stuff hanging out?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Just, I don't know, drinking and talking and
sure.
Just having a good old time.
Next thing you know, it's like midnight or 2:00 in the morning. Some of you guys are still talking.
Actually, that's why I'm drinking this GT.
Trying
to sober up a bit,
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I didn't hear from you this morning, I'm like, oh, he's either like overslept or he's got a lot going on, or both.
No, I actually woke up pretty early. I just felt really crappy. And,
sure.
The more time that goes by, the better.
I got you. All right, cool. Well, sounds like a fun time. And then back to real life after that, I guess.
Right. I wanted to first start off this episode talking because I just finished Dread, and you're on the final boss, so you're about to beat it.
Yep.
And when I beat it, though, I went back to just going to go play whatever I was previously playing, and I just couldn't. I was just kind of like, yeah, I can't really do this. And I'm just like, I just got to take a break from whatever. I even tried playing something completely separate. It was like Back for Blood or whatever. And it's still just like, I can't, I don't even, my hands hurt. Physically, I'm in too much pain. That boss I spent close to an hour on.
And have you been playing handheld?
Day, my hand's pulsing. Look, listen. So I'm closing my hand, right? Like this. In my hand, I can feel it pumping.
Wow.
Still. I'm like, God.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
No, I'm not playing. Well, yeah, actually, I was playing handheld towards the end there. And then I eventually like, okay, I can't do this, and went and used like a regular controller because I was still dying left and right, but you can be a little better if you use like a pro controller compared to
that's what I've been using on the TV, and then when handheld, I've been using that grip, and I haven't had any problems like that. And I suspect it has something to do with that. Like my hands have not bothered me at all playing, but I used to when I didn't have the grip, like the Satisfy grip. But man, that thing makes long PlayStation.
But even when I was using the other controller, I mean, it's just so because with Metroid you have to hold so many I got to shoot my missiles, but I also need to do the lock on thing. You're holding 2 or 3 buttons at a time at all times.
Yep.
Trying to do whatever.
Hold
plus
R.
Jumping while holding and shooting your missiles.
Well, I'm trying
And
to think. You hold R to start charging your missile. You're moving with the joystick. You're
yeah,
jumping with A, and then you're aiming to lock all the missiles. Then you're letting go.
yes,
Yeah, it's a lot.
yes. And
But man, what a game!
that boss destroyed my hands. I feel like I got blisters on my fingers. Like
All right,
anyway.
what was there
Oh,
another?
but the question was
Right,
like, hey, like now it's not even because my hands are hurt. I'm just scything, but the
right,
bigger thing is just like it's just hard to enjoy something because it was such a big impact
right.
on my brain just as a whole on how
Mhm.
just I don't know the impression it left on you because it was that good of an impression and it's hard
Right.
to like okay well I can't really enjoy anything in the moment. I guess I gotta just kind of take a break.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm trying to think on previous games that had that same feeling with me and
Gotcha.
it's been a while, but
Right,
again, like you were saying with Nier did do that to
right.
me. And it took
I
me a
see.
while before I could enjoy something again. You know what I
Right, right,
mean?
right. I get it. I get it. I think that Metroid is. If someone said that, like you just did, I could totally get it because man, it is. It's
It's so
really,
much
really well done.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like the kind of game that sometimes I find myself, even with a good game, I find myself looking online and like, how much do I have left before I'm done? Or is there something big that happens next? Like not story wise, but like, am I going to this new area next? Like
Yeah,
Metroid, I
that's
was
what's
so
weird
engrossed in it.
is story is what usually impacts me with this thought. This
Right.
is one of the few times where gameplay
The
made me feel
gameplay.
this way.
It's
Anyway.
so I couldn't believe that Mercury's theme, they didn't have some like super amazing reputation before this. They made the remake, but then they made that really, I don't call it crappy, but I know a lot of people do, that Castlevania 3DS game that I thought was okay. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people hated it
okay.
though. Right.
Yeah,
But they were not, I would not expect this level of quality from them, put it that way.
exactly.
But man, it's something
Maybe
else.
they
Really,
got
really
more of
good.
Nintendo's help than we thought, or maybe they
Maybe.
actually did step it up. I don't know.
Could be. I think that this game is a game where if you're someone who looks at a 2D game, you're like, well, why is that game worth the $60? This game will show you why. Because to me, this is more quality than games
That
that
is
are.
a debate right now. I don't
It
know if you
is.
saw
It
that.
is.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I personally don't really agree with the debate. I think that if a game is well made,
yeah.
this game is like 10 to 12 hours long, first time through.
We'd been debating this for how long? Come on, dude.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
if a game's good, a game's good. Like, it
that's how
doesn't
that's how
mean
I
it's not
feel.
worth $60. I don't care if it's 3 hours long. I don't care if
Right.
it's
Right.
50 hours long. If it's quality, I mean, it deserves
Right.
whatever they want to charge. I
And
mean,
it doesn't and it isn't even a short game if you want to go that route. It's not.
it's
It's a
not.
long game. It has replayability, a lot of replayability actually.
Yeah. I
Um,
immediately wanted to replay it, but I
yeah,
was like, no,
too many other games. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
hurting though over
right.
any like I immediately wanted to play again, but my hands were hurting too bad, and I was just like, eh.
um,
But even right now, I'm like, I kind of want to play it over just playing what I was playing. Like, I
play it
want to
on
replay it on hard
hard
and
mode. Yeah, yep.
see how that is because it was so fun.
Well, let's talk about that now. So there's also, not only was there a debate with, is this game worth $60? That was one. The second one that I heard was people saying the game is too hard. Now, me personally, you know how I feel about that. I don't think,
Yeah.
even if the game was brutally hard, I would still be okay with it. But I don't think it's brutally hard. I think it requires way more concentration than a lot of other games, and I think you need to it's the difference between, you can just
I'm
cruise
trying
through
to
the
apply
game.
it to another skill. What else could you just be like, hey, this is too difficult for me to achieve. Can you make it easier so I can accomplish it? Think about anything else in
I
life.
mean,
You can't really like why are you even expecting that?
right,
Just do other
right,
things. If it's too
right.
much for you, there's plenty of other things you can do.
But
It's like, hey, I can't drive trucks well, but I still want to be a truck driver.
sure.
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna let you do it anyway. And
Right,
if you kill
right.
someone, fine.
Well, in real life, if you wanted to drive a truck and you felt it was too hard to learn, you would go get yourself a car. So why do you expect that the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
should?
yeah.
And this is the same argument they have every time From Software releases a game. It's the same old. And then they conflate accessibility for like people who have handicaps with the game being too hard, when those are not the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like Halo Infinite has these options for like colorblind and things like that. That's not the same as saying the game is too hard, you know?
Or
And
like a
people,
controller to where you don't have like pressure sensitive controller
right,
where you don't have to apply as much pressure,
right, right,
or a way to move a joystick without normal stuff
sure,
like that. That's accessibility things. Like
right. They're different.
it's
They're
not
different things.
it's not changing the mechanics of the game or something. I don't know.
Right. Can you imagine this game where you're fighting that final boss, let's say, you had unlimited missiles or something, or, you have,
Yeah.
10 extra energy packs. Like it would just break the game. Like if you want more energy packs, go use your abilities and go search for more missile packs. That's all you got to do, or energy packs, you can make the game easier if you want. But I personally love when games have no difficulty option because you're playing the game as the way they intended it. That's personally how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's another cool thing too is that's one of the best things. If I
Yeah.
start up a game and I'm not picking a difficulty option,
Right.
because once you're picking a difficulty option, it makes me worried. Now,
Right.
maybe they did it way better, but usually it just means okay, well, easier, they have less health and I have
Right.
more health,
Right.
or now
Exactly.
hard, it's vice versa. Like
Uh-huh.
if you're going to do easy, medium, and hard, you need to actually change the AI
Right.
of the
Right.
monsters to be more aggressive or less aggressive, stuff
Yep.
like that.
And they never do
Um,
it. It's always just bullet
yeah, yeah,
sponges,
yeah.
turn it up and they take 27 hits now instead of 5 hits. That's why I like when you
Even
make the
Halo,
game
like when you play it
right.
on
Oh my
Legendary, now
God.
they're just bullet sponges. Like,
I
yeah,
can't stand that. It's like the most annoying thing. That's why I love you designed the game this way. This, by the way, there was another boss that I thought was incredibly hard. The only one in the game that gave me a ton of trouble, besides this final one, probably.
yeah.
It was
What
that
was it?
experiment one. He's like in the background, this big like monster thing, and as you fight him, he
Oh,
eventually
he
has
changes the
four.
form.
I
Are you
think
talking about
so.
like one form second, then third?
No, not that one. There's
Okay,
another one
okay.
before that where when you hit him enough, he takes his four tentacles and he puts them on the four edges of the screen. And you
Okay,
have to
okay.
shoot them
I
all
do
out.
remember. Yes,
That one
yes.
was pretty tough. I thought
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
fun fight though. Like I finished the fight and I'm like,
No, it
wow,
was hard.
that was a
It
lot
was
of
hard.
fun. It was
I
challenging
felt
though.
each boss, they did a really good job.
They
Every
did.
time they got a little bit harder and a little bit harder.
Yep. Yep.
None of it felt the other way around. So we played millions of video games, I feel.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
but there will be certain bosses that are harder and easier than others as you go through the game. This really did feel like the perfect incline
Yep.
of like,
Yep. Agreed.
okay, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder.
And they
Yeah.
had such cool mechanics that like it wasn't a boss fight where it is in a lot of other games where okay you figure it out in about 5 seconds and then you just maybe you die once then you beat them. This game I feel like you really have it's like a puzzle, you got to figure out how to take them out. What do you have to do to remove that shield from the soldier who charges at you? Oh, I broke his shield. I can actually shoot him now. And I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
love how you had to really think a lot in each
What's
boss
funny
fight,
is I never even broke his shield. I always just started.
Yep.
I
Shot him
jumped
in the
up
back.
and dart.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
That other guy you were talking about though, the dude who grows twice into his three
Yeah,
forms.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I walk in there, I shoot him, he dies.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah,
I know. The second time he comes out, I'm like, all right, I got this. I'm like doing a screw attack
yeah,
in the
yeah,
corner,
yeah.
shoot him. Then when the
And
third
then
one
the
came
music
out,
changes.
oh my god, third one came out. I'm like, what the heck? This guy kills me at like half a hit. But eventually, it wasn't really a problem. But man, I know we've played a million games of Metroidvania genre where you get a new ability, you go back, but Metroid really does do it the best. It's like it's
And I
not
was
even
worried
close.
too because we haven't had a last one
Right,
since GBA days, right? So
right.
we had that other M, but it was kind of whatever anyway. Most
It was
people
more of a
ignore it.
3D game, yeah.
But now all of these games that came out that are crazy, crazy good, getting
Yep.
like tens from ton of people,
Ori
including
and
me. Like,
Hollow Knight
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then so it's like, okay, can they really top those games at this point?
Right.
Because it's been so long. Even they throw their best at it. Can it
Sure.
even be as good as these others at this point? And
Yeah.
I feel
agreed.
I feel it's not like it's better or worse, but
It's just
almost
up
like
there. Yeah.
no one's been able to do what they exactly do.
Right.
It still
Right.
feels very unique in Metroid. No
Yep.
other games really feel like that. So
Totally
it's
agree.
still an experience you can only get through it. So it's still really cool because of that.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is the third complaint I heard about this game, because this game was full of complaints. Although on the other side, you had a ton of people who loved it. The third complaint was the Emmys. Right. A lot of people were very upset. They felt it wasn't fair.
I
He
was
gets some
worried
more
about
hits.
that in the beginning.
When I first
but
saw it, I was a little worried. But the more I went on, I realized number one, the the story in this game implies that these guys are supposed to be extremely hard. Like the fact that you
Yeah.
can barely dodge them, that's by design, right? Although I did get a little better at doing it eventually. But anyway,
Yeah,
the thing I like is when I think of games like Resident Evil 2, where you have Mr. X always following you, always, even in the safe areas, that bugged me after a while, you know? This game, it didn't really bother me because, number one, they're clearly defined areas, number one. And number two, as you get further in the game, you get more abilities to help you, you know, get away from them. Yes, did I die to them a few times? Sometimes, sure. But it never got to the point where I was like, this is cheap, or I hate it, or it's driving me crazy, you know? And when you would have to blast the enemies after, I love that part. That was like a cool puzzle to figure out. How can I have enough room to
I
shoot
definitely
them?
like died multiple times
Me
to
too.
like a new one because they had even more challenges compared to the last one and all that. And
Right.
it took some learning. But
Sure.
it's like okay to die. It's almost
Right.
like
Right.
I hate to throw Dark Souls into this, but
But it
everyone
is.
when they play that, they are expecting to die and retry and learn
Right.
from it.
Right.
But that's what video games as a whole, ever since the 80s or 70s, have
Sure.
taught us is like, hey, don't worry about dying. It's cool. You're playing Mario for the first time and you're freaking
Right. Right.
go. There's this crazy jump you didn't expect till you're already there and you die, you restart, you go again, you learn from it. I mean, that's
Yep.
just, you have to be okay with dying. I think a lot of times nowadays people get way too discouraged way too quick.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
they don't want to press forward. And like the only way you're going to learn is like through mistake, right?
Right. Right. That, like the boss I just got to, the final boss, I tried him. He did some move. I had no idea what to do. And then before I died, I figured that one part out. And then I died. I was like, okay, now I know this ball he shoots at me. I got to take it out, you know? And yeah, I just can't say enough good things about this game. Definitely. I didn't expect it. Honestly, I didn't expect the game to be probably in my top games of the year. I thought it was going to be a good game, but I didn't think it was going to be this good, you know? So
yeah.
Man,
Again,
awesome
it's
game.
so good that it like shook me and made me be like, man,
Yeah.
It's gonna feel weird playing other stuff now. But
Yep.
Is there any other game that you could think of that like kind of did this? What I'm talking about here, to where it's kind of hard to play at something afterwards.
Sure. So the two games that come to mind is obviously Nier is one. Both Nier games, I'll say, they both got me like that. And then also Final Fantasy VI also made me feel that way, where I feel like, man, other games just don't feel this good. You know, I loved Metroid Dread, but no, I won't say that it made me feel that way in particular. Although I did absolutely love it. Man, are there any other ones that
I didn't feel that until I actually like rolled credits and then it sunk in. And
yeah,
then
who
I was
knows?
like, wait,
who knows then?
you know, I think it was also because of that final boss, because
Yeah.
before him, I wasn't feeling that. But when you spend, I mean, I was trying to
hour,
record,
yeah.
I was trying to record me fighting the boss or whatever and upload it, but it literally hit like 45 minutes.
So many tries.
Still, and I'm like, forget it. I just stopped the recording and
That's funny.
eventually beat him. Like, it could have been even slightly over an hour, but
gotcha.
When it was all of that, and then you get this crazy epic ending thing,
right?
And then the credits roll and all that. And
I can't wait.
Fuck.
Okay. There's some story stuff
here.
Yeah, there's some cool story stuff going on right now. As I went into this fight, I'm sure there'll be a little more at the end. So yeah, definitely solid game. If you can't tell, we like this game for sure. So Did you see? Wait, one last thing though. Did you see David Jaffe complaining about Metroid Dread? Did you see this?
Yes, and I actually really like Jaffe.
I like him too, but
I was really disappointed.
The complaint is so silly. Like, really?
Did you see a video of like them editing him with other people playing? Okay, no. so someone took the clip from him saying like, "How would I know to shoot from up above?" Right. But it clearly has enemies right above
you,
and every other player, whether they played Metroid or not, like they were showing other people that were saying during the video, "Hey, I never really played a Metroid before," but they still figured it out like within like 3 seconds. Because again, it's almost like a visual cue. It's so thin of a thing, and there's monster crawling left and right and trying to shoot at you or whatever. And it's clearly trying to get you to shoot them. Because usually, I know what it was. It was those things that target you, and then you have to counter.
Oh, yep.
And they kept trying to do it, but there was a thing in between trying to get you to shoot it so you could clear it so it could dart, right? So I don't know. It was given a lot of clues.
The game is very well designed in that way, and it's not anyone who calls that bad design is just, and it's surprising because David Jaffe literally has designed video games, so
Yeah.
you would
It's
think he
trying
could
to
understand.
teach you how to play. It's like the
Right,
beginnings, and it's trying to get you to understand, hey, there's going to be blocks that you got to shoot through.
right.
And here's a really simple example because it's going to get harder later on. And
Yep.
he didn't even pick up on the simple. So I don't know.
If and he has played Metroid games. He said he has. So if you've played a Metroid game, you know, and if you've
You
played
would
a Zelda
know.
game, a 2D Zelda or top-down Zelda game or anything, you know you have
Same
to be
thing.
looking at
You gotta
everything.
push
Right,
a random block. You gotta
right,
blow up
right, right.
a random hole in a wall. How would you know? Well, because
It's
they
just silly.
taught you in a really simple example in the beginning of the game that you
Yep.
do have to bomb a wall somewhere, right? Like, I don't
It
know.
just baffles me. But I will say that not just about Metroid, but it seems like every like first party IP that Nintendo puts out on Switch does way better. So I really hope
Yeah.
this game will sell way better than the past. I mean, it
So
seems
hold
that way so
on.
far.
Let's go into that. Let's go
Yeah,
into
let's do
that.
it.
So very first story here. It's Metroid series in Japan. Okay.
Yep.
So Dread is already about to outsell every other Metroid game in its very
It,
first week in
it looks like it
Japan.
already
So
has, besides Fusion
besides
and
Fusion,
Hunters.
I think that's it. Okay, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
So in total sales, and this is the first week because like Metroid Fusion, it got 49 first week, got 155,000 total. It's at 86,000, and there's every other Metroid, like Metroid Other M75, Metroid Prime 78, 74 from Prime 3. The, all of these games, Zero Mission, 85 total. It already beat Zero Mission in total sales at 86 its first week.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is it is actually selling well.
Yeah.
And this is Japan. The numbers are going to be way lower because it's a way smaller country than the United States, obviously.
Right.
But we do know off of this, and if we can apply it to the numbers to the United States, which we'll see numbers here real soon. I feel it's going to sell well.
Oh my god, definitely.
It's I don't know. It's getting marketed really well. I
It
am
is.
seeing it all over like Facebook, YouTube.
It's only been a week too.
Ads. Yeah. So
Definitely excited.
I do think it's actually going to go really well. And it's
Now,
already
how
outsold
well?
them all, but too. Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
how well it will go total. As we go on.
To where Nintendo is like, okay, we'll finally actually really pour more energy into it again.
Right.
Because I do feel bad for them. Because I get it. They made all these Metroid games for like first 10, 15 years, and none of them sell, and they keep pouring all of this energy into it. And they're like, God, like we really should just do other things. And so they do, and those games sell. And it's like, what? I don't know. It's hard to expect anybody to keep making a product that nobody seems to want.
Right.
And you still are one of the few wishing they would. Like, yeah, but you can't expect them to if they don't think people want it.
Right. No, it sucks, but I really hope again this is the start, because every Switch entry of some series, it like blows all the other ones out of the water. So hopefully,
Yeah.
that's the case here again. So we'll see.
And then I also wanted to go into a whole little different segment here on favorite video game that is not a part of a series. It's not a sequel. It's not a prequel. It's not like Final Fantasy 7 compared to Final Fantasy 3. That's still in the same series,
Right.
So even though it's not like a sequel or like just completely on its own, sort of
Got it.
one and done deal.
All right. You want me to go first, or you want to go?
Yeah. Go ahead. What's one now? We're gonna pick a favorite. You could list your favorite now, but we can also just talk about games in general that you just super love that are also standalone.
Yeah, we'll throw a few in there. So the one that I picked that was my favorite out of I got 1, 2, 3, 4, because this was kind of hard for me to think of.
It's really hard. It's way harder than I thought. I got 4, and it took me a while.
I got 4 as well. I was trying not to include things like Demon Souls, because technically it doesn't, but it's a Souls game, so I left that out.
I was wondering that because I was like, man, I don't know what to tell you, because I don't know if Bloodborne does count or not. I don't know.
It's like a spiritual successor. So I was like, okay, I'll leave that out. Just whatever. I have other ones. Anyway, my favorite one is The Witness, which is the game by Jonathan and Blow, the puzzle game. But
I really liked it. I never beat it, so I don't want to include it till I beat it.
Right. it is a game that if you watch someone play it for 5 minutes, you might think, well, first of all, why is this $40? Back to the price thing. Why is this a $40 game? And what's so special about this
Yeah,
game? But
yeah.
oh, actually, you know what? To tie back to what you said earlier, this game left that feeling on me too, where I was like, I had finished the game. I had 100 papers on my desk with all sorts of puzzles and lines, and
That's
my
funny.
phone. My
Yeah.
phone had on my phone I would like take a picture of the puzzle, and then I'd go to work, and on my downtime I'd pull out like the stylus out of my phone and try to do like the little line drawing and erase it over and over. Like my phone was filled with these pictures because the game's main mechanic is the line drawing, but it's definitely not that simple. They did what Kojima did with Death Stranding. They made walking into something like more than that, and they did it with line drawing.
Hmm.
That's definitely one of my favorites. I don't know why that game's not on Switch, by the way, because it is the perfect.
Yeah, I mean, throw that on everything. It's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
easy to run on anything.
Yep. So that was
Hold
that.
on. All right, I'll name one of my four. And we can just
Okay,
kind of ping pong back and forth.
sure.
But I think my favorite, I think Pandora's Tower. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I actually don't know that one. Let me look it up.
Okay,
Wait, wait,
so
wait. Is this a game? Wait, what system was this on?
it was on Wii.
Okay, I have heard of this actually. I just never played it.
It's very unique mechanics. I mean,
Okay.
I've never played a game like it before. It kind of plays like Devil May Cry,
Okay.
in I guess it's combat, but it's far more puzzly.
Interesting.
Like
Okay.
far more. It feels almost like it's almost like puzzles like a Luigi's Mansion
Okay.
of like having to solve things in different rooms that affect things in other rooms, and it's like one big tower with multiple rooms all throughout it that you're having to basically, I guess you're getting to the top of this tower, but you're having to break chains that link different things so you
I
can
see.
get further along. But and there's like big plants up in the tower too that you have to destroy that can free different areas for you to go. So almost like
Okay.
it's not really Metroidvania because I don't know. The map doesn't, it's really just
Right.
vertical instead of like
Right. Right. Right.
horizontal.
I
But I
gotcha.
guess it
I
kind of
mean,
is
technically,
Metroidvania.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
The cover of this looks so familiar to me. Like I remember seeing it. Was it like imported or something? Like it didn't come out right away in US, or am I
yeah. It
wrong about
was
that?
one of those. There's three games. It was that one, Xenoblade Chronicles, and Lost Story. That's what it was.
Oh, I
And
remember.
it
I,
was,
I remember that
and there
one.
was a
Yep.
campaign that tried to get all of those three games to the West.
Oh, okay, cool. All
And I
right,
forget what they called the campaign, but
gotcha.
they agreed and they released all three here or whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah, never
And
played it. Looks cool though.
it's
Interesting.
but the combat is really fun and really deep, and you learn a whole lot of new skills along the way and all that really
Gotcha.
make it more fun as you play. But what made it so interesting was like you have this um curse. Yeah, that's what it is. So you got this curse and you have to eat demons, like demon flesh, to keep the curse from like overtaking you.
Oh, okay.
So as you're killing stuff, you kill like these certain things to where you can get like this raw flesh that you have to. Oh, it's not you. Sorry. Hold on.
Wait, is that why she has the
It's
stuff
a
on her body?
girl.
The girl,
It
yeah.
the girl has
It
it,
says
and you're
Elena.
having to bring the flesh to her so she
Oh,
doesn't
I see.
die. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
she
So it's
looks
not
kind of
you.
she looks kind of crazy. She has like her whole
Yeah,
right side
and
of
it
her,
and
of her
it keeps
face is.
overtaking her as the game
I see.
goes, and you're trying your best for it not to overtake her. So you
Okay,
keep having to feed her this demon flesh
sounds
that you
interesting.
have to find throughout the tower. But and then there's this like super creepy, like hunched over dude that's also a main character in the game, and that's where you like buy stuff from him. And it almost kind of reminds me of the guy from Resident Evil 4. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
"What
yeah,
are you
yeah.
buying?"
What are you
And he's
buying?
like,
What are you selling?
"Yeah, yeah."
I'll buy
It
it at
was
a
very
high
much in
price.
that vein, and but
Sweet.
he was somehow even creepier than that. But the game, I don't know. It's just the combat couldn't feel any more fun because Devil May Cry, even though you get a lot of skills and stuff, I still feel. Oh god, I hate to call it basic, but it this game
Sure.
feels way more elaborate and different
Okay.
things you can do than in Devil May
All
Cry.
right.
Let's say that.
Interesting. All right. Well, good pick.
And you have chain mechanics. So if you ever played Astral Chain,
Yep. Yep.
you know how you can like capture and do a bunch of different unique things with the chain to kill certain things. That's what makes it so interesting. Is because of that chain.
Speaking of games that should get a sequel, there's another one. Even though I didn't pick it,
right.
That game was awesome.
But, which they were trying to get us to think that it was going to be Astral Chain.
I know. That definitely was. For some reason, in my heart, I knew that was Bayonetta right away. But for some reason, that first thing, I was like, wait a sec. All right. So my next one, when you were talking about, constantly going up and up and up, it reminded me, like, I just thought of this right now, but the game Catherine. I don't know if you've ever played it.
Oh, yes.
But Catherine, to me,
that's a good one. I would
totally
have that on my list.
Catherine is like the ultimate game that never got a sequel and is very unique. I mean, that's literally what this game is.
Yes.
If you've never played Catherine, it's like the weirdest thing I've ever played in my life. A guy's having a dream every
more
night.
than Pandora's Tower.
I love Catherine. Yeah. I didn't even have that written down until right now. I just thought of it.
I don't know why I forgot about it. I have the full body version.
Oh, yeah. Did they add stuff to it, or like was it something?
A lot of stuff.
Oh, I'll have to play it again then.
It's a whole nother character.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also with the same name as the rest. What were their names?
Well, Catherine with a C, Catherine with a K.
So this is like this is Rin. So it's like Catherine.
Oh, gotcha.
They just put the Rin.
That's so funny. That game is something else, man. It's the weirdest. Every night he dreams that because he's doing the wrong thing. He's cheating on his girlfriend with the other girl named Catherine, who starts with a different letter. Yeah. And then every night the main mechanic is, it's like Qbert. I don't know if you've played Qbert, but you have to keep climbing up the blocks and you have to navigate certain ways. But obviously it's more modern, so there's a lot of twists and the blocks will fall and enemies will attack you, whatever it is. But after a while, I was like, this game, I was getting like a master at climbing these blocks, but it was super challenging.
Even the arcade game inside of the game, actually really deep too.
It was a very, very unique game. Probably,
but man, you really need to play the new one because it.
I do.
I forgot how deep it changed. So imagine there being a third girl.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to play.
And what's funny is there seems to be more content towards this third than the other two. So you're even more. You're almost like going towards this third even more than the other two, but the other two content's still there as well the whole time.
Right.
And so you're in this like not even a triangle. It's like 4 people all battling. And man, it gets intense.
That's awesome. Is this? I know
it's on all platforms.
Someone drink every time I say this, but is it on Steam? Because I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah, I would be incredibly shocked.
It says Catherine Classic. Huh. No full body.
Not on Steam.
Why did I think full body was like a
full body was on Switch and on PlayStation and
wow,
that's what it is. It's Switch and PlayStation. It's not Xbox or PC.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's ever coming. Catherine full body coming to PC, maybe. It's now available on Steam, but
I can't remember if I bought it Switch or if I bought it PlayStation.
Catherine is getting a new lease on life on 2011 release. Nope, it doesn't say. No, it doesn't say anything yet. That sucks. Anyway, I'll have to check that out sometime because that game was awesome. So,
yeah. It's almost like that Persona 5 to Persona 5 Royal. It's really pointless to play the regular Persona 5 since Royal's a thing.
Right.
And so maybe if you never played Catherine, or you really need to play the new version, don't play the original.
Gotcha.
Because it's far more content.
Right. I have Persona 5 Royal on my PS5 as well. I just haven't touched it because I keep thinking every time I'm like, I'm going to play this. It's like, oh yeah, 120 hours. You ready for this? I'm like, oh my God. Eventually I'll get to it.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe that's a game that we could both say like, okay, we're going to play this game at some point and just play it.
Maybe if we're both playing it, we can motivate each other to keep going.
When there's a drought.
It's not like it needs it. It's a good game.
It is, but we need to get like if I know when you're playing at the same time, I'll at least step into it, at least start it and then hopefully keep it going. So let's get one more in there each.
Anyway. I'll list as I got 3 to list. I'll just list them all. So The Wolf Among Us.
Ooh, good one.
God, incredible.
Aren't they working on a sequel now?
They were, but it's now not. I don't think it's now going to happen.
That sucks.
I think it's pretty much like just done for.
It's too
I
bad.
know they didn't say outright cancel, but they just said they're stopping development on it, whatever. And I guess maybe some point in the future I don't know. So don't expect it
Sucks,
anytime in
man.
the next few years, even.
Okay.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Oh, good one.
I
Love that
absolutely
game.
love that game. It's actually
Such a
really
good game.
short, 2 or 3
Yep.
hours, but
Yep.
again, that's one of those examples.
That was an
I don't
impactful
care.
one. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Good
I
choice.
loved it. If no one knows, the big mechanic is left triggers one brother, right triggers the other brother, and the
Right.
same with the sticks. You
Yep.
control the
Yep.
one with the left stick, one with the right stick, and so you're grabbing and controlling, grabbing and controlling. And I don't know, it went way
Such a
deeper
cool
than I
game.
was expecting on, I guess it's story, but
Yeah. It's all in like
it's
some made
all
up
told
language.
naturally. It's not
Right.
like
Right.
you're not having to read a lot. I don't
Right.
even know if they even talk. Do
They
they
talk
talk?
they talk in some made up language, which I like
Okay,
because
okay.
you still kind of pick up on the subtle little
Yeah, yeah.
cues and you know what's going on, like when they're upset or they're happy. And shout out to Joseph Fares, the guy, the F the Oscars guy. Remember, he's the one who made that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then he
yeah.
made It Takes Two, and he made A Way Out, which in my opinion are all
Yep.
really great games. So
Yeah, so
definitely knows
he's
what he's doing.
knocking it out of the park. He's great.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
um and The Legend of Dragoon, which I never beat. I've played 3 different times, got into like close to the end of the second disc, and there's literally 4 discs in it.
right, right.
And I don't know, something always comes up. I think the first time I let like somebody borrow it and never got it back, had to find another copy, and that was back in the day when I originally was playing it. And then I think another time I was like playing on an emulator, and then I like
1999.
had to like
Wow.
move files around and lost the save. I really want to sit down and try to like play this because
Yeah, yeah,
that game is like legendary,
yeah.
and it's a Sony first party JRPG, and it was
22 years old.
incredibly well done. I mean, the story, I just remember like they were really good at writing in that game. That's what I want to say. Like you were
Yeah,
super interested in what was going on. So
that's
anyway,
awesome. Yeah,
that's
I
that.
hope I know there's been some rumors swirling about the game for a long time about remaking it, so hopefully one day.
Yeah,
Anyway, for me, the last
which would
few,
be perfect for Blue Point, but oh no, let's
yep,
not remake.
making an
So
original IP or whatever it is. So we'll see.
anyway,
All right, so I said The Witness and Catherine. Oh, the last two I have are Shovel Knight, which I know it got expansions, but it never got a proper sequel ever,
yeah,
which I think
it would be cool
we definitely
to. I
need one.
guess Shovel Knight's technically 8-bit filling. What if
Right.
it got like a 16-bit filling?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think Shovel Knight was such an incredible game, and I to this day I don't know why they haven't made a sequel. I'm all for free stuff, that's cool, but come on, man. At a certain point, you need to start charging us money for something new again. Come on, we'll give it to you. All right, make a new great
I
game
mean,
like
they
you did the
clearly
first
made
time.
enough money because they're like
I'm
publishing
sure. I'm
games and
sure.
all of this. The Yacht Club has been putting out a lot of. They put out that
Right.
Ninja one that did really well.
Yes, yes, but
But
what
no,
year
I
did
need
Shovel
Shovel
Knight
Knight
come
too.
out?
I know.
Shovel Knight came out in 2014. I mean, it's been 7 years. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I think it's
and
time.
they're about to release that. There's a whole nother side one that's about to come out. What is that?
Is there that they're publishing
Dig,
or something?
Dig, Shovel Knight Dig. I want to say
Oh, I
it
think
does
you're
look
right.
really, really, really
It's,
cool,
I'm
actually.
sure it is. I'm sure it is.
But still, yeah, I want
But
a Shovel
the
Knight too. That would be
Oh yeah,
amazing.
that would be great. So I'm hoping for that. And then the last one, which is another one that is way up there for me, is Inside by Play Dead. You know, the people made Limbo as
Yeah,
well.
still never played
Um,
that.
oh man, this game is another one. Okay, so I guess I can think of four off the top of my head, right? Final Fantasy VI, Nier Automata. Shoot, what was the one we just talked about a second ago? The Witness, I think I said, and
Yeah,
then Inside. When I finished Inside, it was another one of those looking up on the internet all day
yeah,
long,
yeah.
trying to see what people thought. It's
Where
just
you're
like
just sitting back and reflecting on it.
that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
too. That too. I think it's a game.
Another game that did that for me is Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh
Not
yeah,
Odyssey.
yeah.
Sorry, not Odyssey.
Galaxy,
Galaxy.
Galaxy. Yep, yep.
Galaxy totally did that to me.
I felt the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
That game blew my mind. But
Anyway,
yeah, Inside I think is such a cool game because clearly their skills were in side scrolling, like atmospheric kind of game, right? Like Limbo was. Then they took that, those ideas, those skills, and they just made it better. Now it's in color. Now there's more, there's deeper mechanics. It plays better. It looks better. It was still like a 3 to 4 hour game. But but they tell a really interesting story without saying one word. It's like one of those games. I just loved it. It was really great. I know they're working on a new game, but it's so weird because if you look it up, it says Playdead's new game is completely like the first two are 2D games, right? If I can find it, I think they said it's going to be. Oh, here we go. I found it. Their currently untitled project will be a third-person science fiction adventure set in a remote corner of the universe, which is like way
I'm
different.
I'm cool with that
But
though,
I'm fine with that.
because
Yeah.
now, like, they were clearly indie, didn't really have the budget, all of
Right.
that. Imagine they're like, oh wow, we can flesh out all these crazy unique ideas in a way bigger scale. That,
Right.
like,
Right.
that probably excites them, and
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely
that
something
could
I'm
be
looking
cool.
forward to. Some new art from the game has been found as well, and if you look through the art, I'll put it in here so you can see it if you want. If you look
Okay.
through the art, it almost still reminds me of what inside looked like, just a little cleaner, a little crisper. But clearly they're talented and they're getting better at what they do. So it's pretty
Oh, okay.
impressive. You see,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
look
yeah.
at picture
Wow.
number 5. Like that's like beautiful,
All of these.
on the beach like that. It's like
Yes.
really
I
impressive.
love
So
this.
whatever this is,
Wow.
man, I'm looking forward to it.
With
So
the last photo there, photo
yeah,
9.
yep, looks really cool.
Yeah, that looks really epic.
So
That
imagine playing a
and
game
that's
that looks like this.
ooh,
I mean,
that's
damn.
gonna give me chills, bro. That
Yeah.
I could already.
Yep. Yep. It reminds me kind of I know Little Nightmares 2 is a sequel, but that's another one I would have picked
Yeah.
if it wasn't because it has this similar like the atmosphere and the story are really interesting except they don't say much. And it's really fun to play. So, yeah, looking forward to this one. And if we're going based off their last two releases, Limbo came out in 2010, Inside came out in
Yeah, it's
2016.
hard to believe they would mess it up.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get some news soon. So, we'll see. It's been like 7 years almost. So, no, not 7 years, like 5 years actually. A little off there. But yeah.
All right. And then I wanted to jump into the news now. And the first story in here, I wanted to talk about that Nintendo expansion pack.
Oh boy.
There's a lot to say. I mean, what's your thoughts right off the cuff here?
Okay,
I mean,
so for me personally, this is another case of something happening that won't directly affect me, but I can understand why people might be upset about it. Because again, for me
were
personally,
you even getting this though, or no?
no, I probably wasn't. It's cool. It's just it's
Okay.
not something I was gonna jump into right now because again, I have so much stuff already to play. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna continue. It's still an option for me to pay the $20 a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just going to continue for me, and I don't have other family members at the moment that use the service. Now,
Yeah.
if my daughter's a little older, for example, and she wants to play too, then I'll do the family plan, but the basic one still. Um,
Yeah.
I do think the prices that they put out are a little high. It's not even. I don't even think I have a problem with the prices per se. It's the fact that they're missing key features that they should have. And I don't think they have a right to charge that much yet until they have normal voice chat and their online infrastructure is better and things like that. So I wouldn't care if you want to charge $50 a year because that's right around the amount the others charge, right? But you got to have those other
If
things in
they
place.
had the online quality, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
but they don't.
They definitely don't. But on the other hand, if you're someone who has 6 gamers in the house and or 6 buddies that
It's
you
still
share
not
with,
though, because it went even higher though. So the family
it did.
membership, $80.
Right,
So
right.
it was 35, 35
Right,
to 80, and you get 20 and 64 games, and like
right,
I don't
right.
know, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more okay. You get the Animal Crossing, but if you don't care about Animal Crossing, that doesn't
right.
seem
That
to count.
immediately throws it off. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like when people start doing this whole thing where they're like, all right. So for example, when the PSN network went down for like 21 days or whatever it was, right, years ago, I remember people were like, oh well, if you're so mad, ask Sony to send you 14 cents per day back and you'll have $3. I'm like, come on, man, it doesn't really work that way. It's like the inconvenience factor
yeah,
so
yeah,
when
yeah.
people post in Nintendo voice chat group
Again,
and they're
time
like,
is money, right? That old
right,
classic
right.
saying.
And then,
Yeah.
but also that you can't break everything apart like that and make it make sense. Like, oh, well, stop complaining. It's only $2.65 per day. I'm like, okay, sure. But you can still argue that it's too much for what you're getting. All right. Like, stop. Everything's not broken down into how much you get charged by day.
All right.
So I personally, I think that it's probably a little overpriced right now. Yes, I think that Nintendo, but knowing Nintendo, they're not gonna walk it back. You know, other companies will usually be like, you know, we hear you, we made a mistake, let's fix it. But I feel like Nintendo's just gonna be like, that's it, that's our
Yeah.
deal. So,
Now,
and it,
this I was gonna get it. Hey, if it was $20 more, 15, 10, that is the realm I was thinking. Because
sure,
why wouldn't I be thinking that? The original was $20, and it's all of these things plus NES and SNES. So if you just
right,
added two more platforms, even if you charged a little more, so instead
right,
of 10, it's 20. Okay, that's
sure.
more. I wasn't expecting like
No,
50 more or
that's quite
whatever.
a leap. And the thing that sucks about being a Nintendo fan sometimes is okay, so I feel that Nintendo gets a lot of undue hate, but at the same on the flip side of that, they have so many people who defend them blindly too. So when you're
Yeah.
a reasonable, rational Nintendo fan, you get thrown in the mix. Like Jesse was already messaging me, making fun of me. Oh, Rudy, I'm sure you're okay with this. I'm like, damn it, hold on. No, I'm not okay with this. But I will defend Metroid Dread because I think it's a great game, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can be balanced with Nintendo. But yeah,
Yeah.
this one I won't. I can't give it to him on this one. It's too much. So
Yeah, so anyway, I'm not doing it. At least, hey, at least it's an option. At least it's
yeah.
not forced in. Thank God.
Oh,
So
thank God for that. Thank God I can still do my 20 a year because that's what I've been
yes, yes,
doing.
yes.
So
So I'm just gonna keep doing that,
that's it.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what if they came out with a second expansion pack, but it was now GameCube and Game Boy Advance,
Right. Maybe
but it
people
was
would be
50 a year. Maybe I'd be like, okay, well, I'm still, I'll do it for that. But
right.
N64, I don't know. I'm not a huge 64 is cool and all, but I'm like a super mega fan. I
Right.
feel
Right.
if it was a different platform, I'd feel different. And I'm
Sure.
actually kind of bummed because it was going, I was like that Game Boy thing. Now, imagine if it was the Game Boy thing, but it was this price.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. They would.
But
Whew.
no, I'm kind of bummed that it wasn't the Game Boy rumor wasn't what it
Right.
was
Right.
because I actually would want that more
Yeah.
than
Same here.
this.
I think playing a Game Boy game 25 years later is a little easier than a lot of the N64 games and things like that. So
Yeah, yeah. As weird as that is, yeah.
we'll follow this saga. Nintendo's always pulling out some new twist and turn, so we'll see what happens next.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna change it, but
No, but
maybe
something else might come out that will
yeah,
take
yeah,
attention away from that. You know, so
exactly.
we'll see.
Okay. So next Leon. So next here, um we did a whole episode on Smash
Right.
and all that, so we don't got to into it too hard. But I did want
Mm-hmm.
to talk like Sora from Kingdom Hearts is the
Sure.
final Smash Bros. Character that joined the roster, and now it's done.
That's it.
Sora though, I mean, did you like this final pick?
Yeah, I think it was a fitting end to the fighter pack. I think it's a good overall choice that maybe won't make everyone happy, but it definitely won't make everyone mad either. I think it's a good middle ground. You know, so
But you were saying like Sora, is it a good final character? Like in
yeah,
terms of just pleasing a lot of people and all that stuff.
I think
Like
so. I think there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans, or they know of Sora at least, on the Nintendo platform. So, yeah, I think it's a fitting choice. I'm looking forward to trying him out. I think he comes out Monday, so give it a shot then and see what I think. But yeah, it kind of
yeah,
sucks that
yeah,
it's
yeah.
over, but I think it's a good ending. I think if like I love King of Fighters, but I think if like Terry was the last one, that'd probably be a problem. Or I think if Byleth was the last one, it'd probably be a problem. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's a good order of things, you know. So.
exactly.
But
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Master Chief would have been awesome. Please, that would have been so
That's what
cool.
sucks is like those thoughts of like, oh, but that
Yeah,
one I really wanted,
I
just
know.
now I know it's not there and it's now over, but
I
whatever.
secretly wish that you were right about that video you saw or that picture you saw with the
I
Master
so
Chief.
thought it was true.
Ah, man, that would have been amazing. What did he look like?
I
What did he
really
look
thought.
like in the image you saw? Did he look like kind of
It
like
was pretty standard. I don't know. It
Gotcha.
was.
Okay.
I saw the splash screen of like Master Chief is now da da da, and it's
Right.
like just
Right.
the standard. I don't know.
Master
It's
Chief
hard to.
assassinates his way into whatever it is.
I don't remember what it said because I was trying to avoid it as fast as I could.
Right.
I
Right.
just
Right.
saw it. It's like, oh god, it closed.
That's so funny.
But I thought it was true. I thought it was true. Anyway, um, but yeah, it's Yep, it is what it is. But
It's a good ending.
I'm very happy with Sora
Yeah,
being the last character. I'm actually a big Kingdom Hearts fan,
right.
and if there's one character I would want in Smash and always have wanted, like Sora was up there for me. So
Yep,
I did
yep.
get him, so it made me happy.
Pretty
So
cool. Yeah.
next story here. This is kind of weird. So Capcom is now saying PC is top priority and
Nice job,
consoles are
Capcom.
secondary since PC has been their primary source of profits in recent
I
years.
mean, hey, this makes sense to me. This is your
Yeah.
primary source of profit. Go for it. I mean, what this makes perfect sense. I don't see why anyone would be mad about this. It's just business. So
I'm saying it's weird because I'm thinking back on NES days of
right,
Capcom to Super Nintendo to
right, right,
N64,
right, right.
whatever, all of these systems over all this time. And
Yep,
Capcom was like one of the biggest like console
they
games
were.
of high quality and all that. And now like they're saying PC's priority. It's just weird. But
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I game on PC. I have my whole life. I'm totally cool with it personally. I don't,
Right. Can
fine
you
with
imagine?
me.
Can you imagine if all of a sudden PC gamers started having the attitude that some console gamers have, which is, and just to be clear, if Capcom comes out with a new Resident Evil game, I don't want it to be on PC only. I think that's dumb.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but if you talk on the opposite side, they really get very passionate about, oh, this is only
Right?
on PlayStation. Yes. And
Why
it's
do
like,
they get
so
to have that, but
right,
you
right.
can't
So,
have the reverse?
so if Capcom did do Resident Evil 9 only on PC,
Just so you can
4K
shove it in someone's
graphics,
face.
oh my god, people would be so angry at that. But I'm glad that this is happening because I'm tired of Monster Hunter World coming out on console and then 9 months later it comes to PC. No, like come
Yeah,
out day
yeah,
and date on
yeah,
both,
yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I think that's the main difference we'll see. They'll come out on both at the same time
And
and
the
the games will be
specific
better
wording of
optimized.
saying that PC's their top priority, not that they're
Right.
making it a priority, not
Right.
that now it's going to be even to consoles. No, they're saying they're putting it above
Right.
consoles.
Right. Right.
So
Yep.
that's the clear
Yep.
distinction there. So that is pretty wild.
Sure. Yeah. It's I wonder if we'll see any other companies follow suit, depending on what happens. You never know. So I guess we'll have to see. Keep an eye
And
on
there
that
would
one.
have to be at least some Capcom if you're gonna put PC priority. Let's say you're okay.
Right.
Any company they're putting consoles priority. You get some games on consoles that don't come to PC. Well, if you put PC priority, does that mean maybe not as big of a game, but maybe some of your smaller games are PC only? Like, is that something that will now happen?
What's the last Capcom game that was exclusive to one platform for for a long
Dang,
time?
it's been a while. Street Fighter Five.
That's true. That
Yeah,
is true.
yeah, yeah.
And then it was on PC, but yeah, it was console exclusive. Yeah, you're right. And
Um,
the only other one I can think of, honestly, is freaking Resident Evil 4 or something back in the day on GameCube for a
yes,
while.
yes, yes, yes. There
Did
was that,
how
but it
about
didn't
that?
even last like a
No, it
year.
didn't. How about
I
Dead
think it was
Rising?
9 months.
Wasn't Dead Rising on Xbox One for a little while? The third one,
Dead
maybe?
Rising. What? Oh, the zombie
The
one. I was
zombie
trying
game,
to
yeah.
think what Dead Rising was. Yes, yes,
It was
that is
only on
Xbox
Xbox One
only.
for a little
Still to
while.
this day.
Is it still?
I
Oh, okay.
mean,
I
it would
wasn't sure.
eventually like Dead Rising 4, for example. I still don't
Right.
think it's on PlayStation. I think
Gotcha.
that's still
Gotcha.
just Xbox
To
One
double check on
PC.
that one. But yeah, those are the only. I can only think of a few examples of it. And then Monster Hunter Rise, I guess, was Switch only at first,
Yeah.
right?
But that was clearly companies paying money. That was clearly
Right.
Sony paying to get Street Fighter. That was clearly
Right.
Microsoft
Right.
paying to get Dead Rising. So
So who knows? Maybe that's not
this
really
is
the thing
different.
they
This is
normally
like
do.
Capcom's like, oh, we're just putting all of our making sure it's good on PC, and then we
Right.
worry about the rest later.
Right. I'm glad they'll definitely be better optimized, which is a big problem on PC at times when you put a lazy
You
port
should
on.
try the Monster Hunter Rise PC port. So
Oh, I
I got
should.
to
I
I
should.
got to try that out. It's incredible,
Oh,
man.
nice.
So my I mean, okay. First of all, it's a Switch port, so of course,
Of
whatever,
course, it's
I
gonna
can
be
run on my PC, no problem. But it is like way higher res
okay.
textures, higher resolution, frame rates, all that. But
Great.
I was able to play like 1440p 120 no problem on
Oh,
my rig,
nice.
which I haven't been able to do that in 3 or 4
Yeah, that
years.
probably felt good.
I'm like, ooh. So it was nice. It was nice.
That's awesome.
Man, it just now it just makes me really jelly. I don't have a nice graphics card.
I've been wanting to get into Monster Hunter. I even bought Monster Hunter World on sale when it was on sale a while ago. And barely played it, but maybe
Well,
if
the
you
demo has an online function, and the game doesn't come out till like January or February next year. I think
okay,
January. But we can hop on the demo, and I can like
could
join
check
your
that one out.
game,
Yeah,
and you can play with me, and I'll show you the ropes because
right.
I'm telling you right now, there's no way you don't like it.
I kind of want to do World
It
first though.
has a
Like,
really good combat system.
yeah,
You don't.
everyone
Rise is the
says
I don't care.
everyone's
Rise is the superior combat. Like,
okay,
because
okay,
Rise has the wire bug, which changes everything. It has the
okay.
exact same classes, exact same combat system that World
All
does.
right. Well,
Okay.
hey, if you're gonna
The,
play
the
that one, then I'll play
graphics,
with you.
the graphics are going to be because it's Switch port and was made for that originally. And all. It's not going to be as pretty as World.
Right.
Okay, but everything else about the game is superior to Rise because it's a newer.
Okay.
It's like Twisted Metal 1 to 2 or something like that.
Sure. Sure.
Why would you play the first if you can play the
Okay.
second?
Okay. Fair
Like
enough.
it
Fair enough.
really is in that vein, and they just added things. They didn't take anything away. There's nothing that's in
Gotcha.
World in terms of something you could do that you can't do in this
All
game.
right. So
It's
I'll have to
got
check it out
all the
then.
same weapons, got all of the same gear, but even more content and even more to do. And
All right.
it's the current live game. Like if you were into it, it'd be really dumb to play the old one because they're not like it's almost like an event game. Think of like it's a live service game. Like every month, here's new content and a new event, and everyone's playing it, and it's a whole
Gotcha.
social thing. You'd be missing out on all that playing stuff that people have already played, and
That's
the
true.
community
That's
has
true.
moved on. It would be I don't know, it'd be kind of
All
dumb.
right. So
Um,
if you play Rise, then I'll play that one with you. I don't care as long as I'm playing with someone. So it's fine with me.
Dave's about it too.
Dave's all about. They played Monster Hunter World a ton, so they got me into that. I bought it and then I just never played it. So I
And we're
gotta.
bringing up Dark Souls again because
Oh
it's
yeah,
very
definitely
Dark
big.
Souls in combat.
Definitely.
Very Dark Souls in combat, where
I
you're
see that.
watching the animations very closely. You're dodging, you're
Yep.
blocking,
Yep.
going. Yeah,
All right.
it's
Cool. I'm
all.
in.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, man. So
Anyway, next up, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition. This has caused a ton of talk.
yeah.
But it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I didn't know this. Switch.
Switch. Yep.
Coming to Switch and PC later this year. $15 per game, and I want to say the collection as a whole, it was maybe I don't remember what I think it was a little cheaper in total. Maybe like
here, I'll look it up.
I'm trying to remember.
And what do we have? San Andreas, Vice City, and what's the last one?
3. So
three.
three
Okay.
Vice City and San Andreas.
I don't think I need to replay 3. I think I'll just play the other 2 again.
I'm just curious. I mean, we need to see a video or screenshots. What exactly is this? Is this just higher res but the same game, or is it actually rebuilt?
It says high res textures for sure, but yeah, I want to know more. Like, is this going to be a prettier version of the old ones? But I played through.
Because if the controls are the same and it plays the same, but it just higher res, I'm not really that interested. But I would be interested if it actually was. They fixed the controls. It feels like a modern game. You know what I mean? Because if you play the older now, it feels really awkward. San Andreas feels okay, but go play 3 and you'll see exactly what I mean. It feels way awkward. Like you can't even. I don't understand. I can't shoot anybody. I don't even know how you aimed in these games. It was so bad.
It's been so long. I want to play Vice City and San Andreas again because I remember playing them, but I don't even know if I actually finished either of them for some weird reason. So I'd like to actually go back and play those. So
yeah. So I'm excited again if they actually rework it more than just up-resing and re-releasing.
I wonder if on PC, a lot of the times they'll do, hey, if you have the original San Andreas, you get this or that. I wonder if that will happen or if it's not going to be the case at all. Or if it's just, I'm going to have 2 copies.
One big thing, though, I wanted to bring up. They were removing the originals off the stores. So that's a whole big talk right now. Everyone being upset over that. And I want to say it's already off the store now. I can't remember the actual date of them removing, but they did not get much room at all. It was only like a few days.
So
from announcement to them removing.
Wonder what they'll do for people like me that have.
If you already have the game, you're good. You just can't buy it again.
No, I know, but I wonder, are they going to do anything for me in terms of I already have San Andreas? Am I get the remastered version? Do I get a discount or is it free or whatever? You know what I mean? Because that happened with Skyrim and a few other games.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I have Vice City and San Andreas on my computer. So I wonder, will they do something to honor people who have already bought it? Or are they just going to say you have to buy it again, and then I'll have
Not many
two
games
copies?
have done that though, so I never really expect it. I wish, but
Yeah.
like I remember BioShock did that, but who else
Yeah.
really did that? I don't
Skyrim did
know.
it too, but Skyrim's been
Okay,
out a million times. But yeah, they did do it.
yeah.
There was one other one that I can't remember that did something similar, but we'll see. Either way, I'm interested. So
All right. Well, next up, this is crazy. Twitch confirmed
yeah,
source code, payment numbers, user information, and more has been leaked. So some
that's not
group
good.
stole it. They even released a message saying, "Hey, the only reason they did it is because they're tired of Twitch not having competition. So they're trying to get the source code out there so other people can see like
It's
how they
crazy.
do it, so they can make a competitor to Twitch or whatever."
Right. Right.
Um, but to be honest, it's not like okay, that one Microsoft had. I can't
Oh,
remember the name of it.
oh my God. Hold on. Mixer. Is that what it was?
Yeah, they had better stuff than Twitch had, but the problem is Twitch is too big and it
Twitch
doesn't
is
really
too big.
matter.
That's all it
So
is.
what my thing is like even if you took the source code and you made something and made it better,
Right.
well, they already did that and it still
Right.
didn't work.
No, it's
So I
not.
don't
It's
think
not
that's going to
that.
solve the problem. The problem is it's like YouTube or Facebook. That too many people go there and
Right.
it's their too a part of their usual daily thing
Right.
where they just don't want to move. That's the problem.
That's really all it comes down to. There's like
Yeah,
TikTok clones out there. There's Instagram clones. I mean,
exactly,
it's just
exactly.
too hard to move it all over. So
Yeah.
yeah, that sucks for the streamers though. All their
But
information, everything.
yeah, and we're seeing how much they're getting paid and all
Right.
of that too, and that's a
Right.
whole big talk.
Yep. Yep.
And some sides they're being like, "Wow, they're not getting paid enough," and other sides, "Wow, I didn't realize they're getting paid that much."
Right. I'm gonna stop
And
donating.
um, but I'm more like, "Oh my god, does this mean like the credit card and bank info got released?" That's what I'd be worried
That would
about
be bad.
because that's what it
Hopefully not.
sounds like,
Yeah,
but I don't
payment
know.
numbers. I have seen some of them since that, and a lot of them seem pretty nonchalant about it. They're like, ah, that sucks, but they're like, you could have figured out how much you were getting paid anyway if you really sat down and put two and two together. But
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
sound like they had any sort of actual, like you said, credit card, bank information, things like that. So,
That's what I'm worried about, like someone stealing people's
God,
identities.
that would suck.
Um, but maybe it's not because this group was the clear intention of just trying to get the source code and how they handled it. But
Hmm.
so to be honest, I don't think they or anyone else really has anything to fear
No, I
because
don't think so.
again, even if you did it better, it doesn't mean anything.
Yep, we definitely
I
already
don't
established
know.
that. So,
Yeah. Um, next up here, that New World. Now, this
yes,
was 10 days of release. It's further than that now. But at
right.
10 days of release, you had 1.3 million people playing it per day with a total player base of 13 million.
It's
And that
crazy.
was on day 10 of release. I'm curious what the numbers are now. But that just skyrocketed. I mean,
It's
that's
crazy, man.
insane. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a
we're talking
huge.
about like Metroid Dread numbers in Japan at like 80,000. this is uh
That's
this is
I
13
All right,
million.
13 million people. I assume, some of those are probably accounts that are inactive, but even then, I mean, it's still a lot of people. So,
I mean, it just released though, so like even
yeah,
if you played it its first day and then didn't 9 days later, okay, there's
still,
like
yeah.
still crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty
Anyway,
impressive, man. I would not expect Amazon to have just released some game and
well, they
make it that
released the
big.
game prior. It failed. I
Right.
want to think it was the first person shooter. It's hard to remember even what it was. But I just want to say it is a really, really good game, and I
That's what
do
I
keep
hear.
playing it. I was playing it yesterday some more. Every day or two, I'll play for like an hour or two, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really, really good. Like I'm just loving. I don't know everything about it. It's really good at atmosphere. It's really good at like because you can't like get in a vehicle, ride a mount, or you really just have to like walk from point A to point B. There's no running in the game, but
Oh, wow.
it's really good at pacing you of like, okay, here's a big city, there's a settlement, maybe like a mile to 2 miles away that you gotta like walk to, but there's a lot of stuff to do in between. But as you're walking in between, the environments are really good on like, okay, I'm walking through almost like very wooded area, but there's like it's like if you were to describe it though, any other MMO, okay, of course there's going to be like cougars or bears up in this forest, but it feels
Right.
very realistic. It's like
Okay.
I know how to describe it. Whenever I was playing Oblivion for the first time, and a deer like ran past me right whenever I first exited the dungeon in the beginning of the game, and I saw a deer run past, and it felt so like I was so wowed by it because it was moving so naturally, and it was such a pretty environment. And I remember spending like 20 minutes chasing this deer down to try to kill it and making this whole game out of it. But this game has that same vibe of like, you're so in awe by how well they create the world, and it feels so good to just play in.
Sure,
And you're
sure.
doing all of these things you wouldn't normally do just because they just executed it so well. It doesn't
Right.
feel like I'm just clicking a boar and hitting number 2 on my keypad and it kills it over time.
I
Like I
gotcha.
feel like I'm actually like having to attack it, block. It's actually a real threat to me. It doesn't feel like, oh, it's some basic little monster that I'm just destroying. It actually
Right.
it has some fear to it, and I don't know, the presentation's so well.
It
But
looks good from what I can tell. So,
yeah, so that's
and
that.
clearly a lot of
I'm
people
really
feel that way.
enjoying it,
That's
and
great.
apparently other people are too. So,
Yep. 13 million of them.
next up, Yakuza Like a Dragon sequel confirmed. So they're doing another. Well, it's a direct sequel to that game because every Yakuza is like a little different. I mean,
Right.
it's the same kind of world and stuff, but this is actually a direct sequel for the first time of JRPG kind of things where you're actually not just running around hitting people. You're actually like going into a battle scene and selecting your moves and all of that,
Right.
which is really cool. I'm about it, and I do like that new direction. So
Yeah. No, that looks. People love Like a Dragon apparently, so I'd say
yeah,
this is probably a step in the right direction.
and the creator announced his departure from Sega. Now he's 50 something. He was gonna. I mean, you're gonna leave it some time soon anyway. And I'm sure he just wants to do something different because he's been doing this for far too long.
Right.
And most creators only last a few years and want to do something different. I mean, he's
Right.
been
Right.
doing it for like a decade or two. Of course, he
Yeah.
wants to do something
Yeah. I don't
different.
blame him. I don't blame him. Time to move on to something else. He already did what he had to do, so
Yeah. It's
I don't
almost
blame
like
him.
that Sakurai thing with Smash. I mean,
Right.
he's been
Right.
doing that for so long. But he does do like Kirby on the side and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm. He
he's
needs to
not
make
just
another.
Mario.
He needs to make another Kid Icarus game because that
Right?
was cool.
Yes. And he's even said a million times he loves the series and would love to do it. Okay, do it. Maybe he will. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe that Smash is done. Maybe we'll also see that. But next up here, you can no longer add wallet funds on the PS3 and Vita stores this month. And going forward, you'll have to access it by like basically buying those PlayStation cards, putting it in that way,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you'll have to like access it by like other platforms to be able to buy the games. But they're no longer allowing you to just like, so you had to like, whenever you bought games, you never just, oh, $6.99, it charges $6.99 your card. No, you were
Right.
using your card to choose, hey, I want $10 added to my
10 or
wallet,
20.
and
I
then it
see.
pulls and all of
God,
that.
I
But the
hated that.
ability, I know, it's so stupid. But the ability to even like have your card on the system, they're removing everyone's cards off the system, and now you have to purchase it other ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be a good news though, because I feel that means maybe they'll leave it up because maybe their worry was having everyone's cards in the system and that being such a cost to them to keep
Right.
that
Right.
running.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe now they'll just leave these stores open indefinitely and just remove this option. If
Yeah.
that's if
That make
that's
everyone happy.
why, I'd be happy with that. I'd be
Yep.
very happy with
If
that.
I really, really wanted to get a Vita game or something 2 years from now, then okay, I'll do what I have to do. I'll go buy a card
Yeah,
and buy the
yeah,
game.
I'm cool with that.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm
So
fine with
hopefully
that.
that's what that means. So
I'm not fine with the next one though. So
Yeah, it's just stupid. Kingdom Hearts 3 HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix and HD 2.8 final chapter prologue announced for Switch will be cloud only. Don't care. Because that would be
what's even the
really,
point?
really, really cool to
It would
play
be
Kingdom
great.
Hearts on Switch. That's what I
I
wanted.
agree.
And you
I
could
agree.
easily run Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 at least.
You
Why wouldn't
definitely
you be
could.
able
You
to?
definitely
It's
could.
PS2 games. What are you talking about? It was running on PS3. A Switch is more powerful than a PS3. It is.
Yep.
So what's
There's
the
really
issue?
I see no reason why. If you want to do the cloud thing, at least give us 1.5, 2.5 on the Switch. And then if
Yes. Put the
2.8
others cloud.
and 3 can't run on it, then fine. But come on, man. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Or sell them
Yeah.
individually as well, Give me let me buy whichever ones I want.
But I totally would love to have native 1.5 plus 2.5.
Yeah. Same
That'd be
here.
super cool.
Because
Super cool.
I need to keep playing those games. I like
I
them
know.
so far, but
I know.
if I had it on Switch, if I had 2 on Switch, I'd be playing it right now, probably. On my downtime. So
For real. But
we'll
that's
fix all
pretty
that. We'll fix all that
stupid.
when the Steam Deck comes out. I'll put Epic Game Store on my Steam Deck and play it that
Yeah.
way because I think it's
Yep.
out on there. So
Steam Deck does what Nintendo don't, right?
there you go. Speaking of
Epic
Epic Games,
Game, they're announcing that they're adding achievements to the platform, which is cool. I don't use it at all, actually. I mean, I play
right?
my games, but that's about it.
Same here. Same here.
I
Yeah,
literally have yet to even, I think, play a game off of the Epic Store.
I've
I
played
just
one or
literally add to
two.
the library, and
I've
that's
played
it.
one or two that were exclusive to it. Like Kenna was exclusive to Epic Game Store. Control was at first.
Okay.
Far Cry 6 is it's not exclusive to that. It's on the Uplay store too, but I hate Uplay
Oh,
even more.
gross.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
can't use that one. Epic Game Store, okay, it's not my favorite, but it's doable.
I was thinking about. I just don't have a good enough computer. I wanted that Ubisoft Plus thing, and then I could
Oh
play
yeah.
Far Cry 6 that way.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
yeah, it's
like Far Cry
15,
6.
and I just feel like, hey, I could probably beat it in a month,
Yep.
and then
Yeah,
just
you
be done
definitely
with
could.
it instead of paying 60, I could play 15, and something
I'll
to
talk
that.
more about it in a little bit,
But
but man, that game
my
is
PC is not good enough, though. I
right.
would definitely want it to be running like at least
Mm-hmm.
60
Sure.
and at like a higher resolution than 1080. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
PS5 and a newer
Right.
Xbox. Why would I want to play in like
Yeah.
1080 on my PCs?
It's a beautiful game, so yeah, I totally get that. So
Yeah. But man, I wish the Ubisoft Plus thing would go to other like on PS5 or
I
Xbox.
know.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be
So
awesome.
I'm a little jelly of that. But anyway, the achievement things I did want to say, they're doing something really cool. They're putting the two together. They're doing Xbox and PlayStation. So they're doing points like Xbox. Leon? They're doing points like Xbox does of like up to
Oh.
2,000 points a game. But they're still having trophies on top of it.
Oh, I
So you
see.
can earn bronze, platinum, da da da.
That's
They're
cool
putting the
then.
two together, and basically a trophy amounts to a certain number of points.
Oh, I get it.
But
I get it.
I wish that was the case. I wish they would do that in consoles
Right.
because, like, on PlayStation or Xbox, the problem, like, I have problems with either side of it because the thing with just trophies are you just see, oh, I have 200 bronze, 500
Right.
silver,
Right.
whatever. Being able to see a full gamer score of all
Mm-hmm.
the tiny things added up into one number is really
Right.
cool.
Right.
I have 120,000 gamer score, right? You
Yep.
can't
Yep.
really do something like that when it comes to the PlayStation side. You have to
Right.
list your trophies, but you can't list your total because there's too many categories. So you have to
Right.
sit there and explain hey, so my trophies are, and you got to list like 4 different types. And
Yeah,
by that
that's a
point, no one
good point.
cares. And it's like weird.
That's a
So
good
then
point
you can
because
then you can only list your platinums,
right.
but
That's what I
like
was just gonna
now
say.
platinums are the only like thing you can brag about.
Right. I don't like how. I mean, it's true. If somehow they can incorporate both, it'd be great. Because number one, you talk to a PlayStation person who cares about this. I have this many platinums, but how about the game that you played a ton of and you got a lot of gold
Yeah,
and a lot of
yeah.
silvers,
That
but you
should
can't
be
do it?
important.
And then on the other hand, on Xbox, you can tell me your gamer score, but I don't know how many games you platinumed or you got the full score in, right? So
Yeah.
this is a good balance for
They're
sure.
doing both into this, and I
That's
was like,
smart.
dang, that's really cool.
Because imagine you said I have 27 platinums, and I have 50,000 gamer score. I mean, okay,
Yes.
that makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's cool. That's
That's
cool.
cool.
If anything would pull me more into this stuff, it'd be that. But I still don't know if that will pull me into
it. But I love that they literally just like, hey, here's what
Took
they're
the best
doing.
of
Here's
both.
what they're
Yep.
doing.
Yep.
Mash it together.
Smart. Yep.
Smart. Yep. All right. Next up, Ghost Recon Frontline announced. Which,
So
God, kill me already. So we
yeah,
got
no.
we got Defiance X, right? We had
Yeah.
that other online mixing the different Ubisoft from Splinter Cell to all these different IPs going into one big other shooter thing.
Yep.
So there was already two. Now there's a third one.
And poor
That's
Tom Clancy's rolling over in his grave. He's like, "Stop! Just stop using my name for stuff that has nothing to do with me anymore, please."
And this is now the battle royale, which I thought one of the other two were also battle royales. So this could be a second battle royale. I don't know. It's just
I'm
dumb.
lost
Stop, please. People already begging you to stop with the first one you did. Then you did a second. Now you're doing a third, and you're just destroying these names.
It's too much, man.
It's so cringe.
I'm over it.
Anyway, I don't want to be running around with like, well, okay, Far Cry 6. You know, you can get like the little alligator head or whatever,
Right.
and all these crazy things. Okay, it works in that universe.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
I don't want to run around with the alligator head trying to sneak and Ghost Recon. I mean,
right.
are you kidding me?
Far Cry is self-aware. They understand that it's comical and silly at times. Like that's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
So
it's ridiculous. I don't know. I'm so just
cringing. No interest in that. So.
We already talked about it, but that Animal Crossing is being included in with that Nintendo Online. But that expansion that's coming out, it's $25 if you want to buy it by itself. But it's Happy Home Paradise, and what it is it's way more in depth on building the home itself.
Right.
So if you're into that Animal Crossing in general, this does look cool, interesting, all of that. And that doesn't seem 25. I think that's reasonable. I mean, I saw what all they added. There was a video I skimmed through. They did add enough content. It does feel worth the price and all that. So this made a lot of Animal Crossing people happy. So it's cool to see Nintendo like realizing they have something and still keep pouring energy into it instead of just letting it go out to die, you know? So
cool. No, people
I have no interest in it myself, but yeah.
People who are Animal Crossing fans, they should be very happy. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Did you see this video of this next story here?
The Halo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it got me super excited.
Right?
Because every Halo game that's been out, mainly 3 and 5, those are the two main ones that I did this in. I played competitive.
Feedback.
They really did. Yeah. I'm super happy that, number one, they're taking, like, no other games come out before the game comes out and says, here's what we're doing for your ranked playlist. Like, no one does that.
Yeah.
So I think they're taking it very seriously. They know that there's people who love to play social games and there's people who love to play ranked. And there's people who like a little bit of both, which is me. So the fact that we're starting with BR is great, number one, because I feel like the BR in Halo Infinite is like, it doesn't feel too overpowered. It doesn't feel weak. It feels like you have to be skillful with it, and you are. It does very well for you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that there's no motion tracker now. But so yeah, what I was saying was we talked about the BR, and then the motion tracker being disabled is good too. I've always liked the radar being off, but in the past Halo games, I don't know. It almost felt like
I'm super curious on your thoughts on that because I was wondering how I would think on that.
Yeah, so I use the radar a lot in the games, right? So it does leave you feeling very vulnerable. But what I like about in this is you can run now. So I feel like, yeah, of course, you're not going that much faster, but I do like the feeling of being able to flee a little quicker. And there's equipment now, again, baked in. There's never been equipment with running at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. So those two things together, I think, are awesome to help you, be more aware of your surroundings. You can quickly check things. So I think it'll be good. I think
cloaking. I mean, think about being able to cloak and not having to worry about the radar playing into that.
They just made so many smart decisions because, yes, the radar's off. you can pick up a cloak, but you don't have to use it right away either. The
Mm-hmm,
guy
mm-hmm,
sees me for
mm-hmm,
a sec. I take a
mm-hmm.
little dive behind somewhere, pop it on. Now I'm good. You know, I think this is going to be
The
great too.
strategy levels just went through the
Mm-hmm.
roof because of one little
Yep.
radar on and
Yep.
off. Yeah, yeah.
And the guy in the video, by the way, I was amazed. Like, you know, the ability where it like repels the guy away from
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it when he's running. He looks all the way straight down. He
Oh,
does the
right?
repel thing,
He's
shoots up
able
in the
to shoot
air.
himself up
Oh
in the
my
air.
god, that was
I
so
didn't know
cool.
that was the thing. He was
I'm
doing those
definitely,
old Halo tricks
I'm.
of the
Oh my god.
rocket jump and all
Yep,
that. Yeah.
I'm
And
definitely using that from
he
now
did
on.
the
I'm saving
sword
those.
jump too.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely saving those just for that now. But yeah, those two, I'm
Because he
all
was
for
doing
already.
big shortcuts like through the map because of that.
Yep, yep.
He was
So
able to go straight to the point without having to
it
go all the
was
way around.
it was amazing. It was very
Yeah.
impressive. But the next one is a new thing, but it's something that I never thought I wanted, and I do want it now that I understand it. Because okay, so grenade hit marker is disabled. So in my head, I had to think for a second. I'm like, hold on a sec. I'm like, how does this really help me a lot in gameplay? And it sure does. Like there'd be times where I'll
What
lob a
is that?
grenade. So basically, when you throw a grenade and you know, you're not sure if it's going to hit someone, but you see someone run into a room, you throw a grenade. Now, if you know that it hurt them, you're going to go pursue them, right? If you're
Yeah.
not sure, you may just carry on with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So now there's no way to know for sure. You just have to kind of.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you get hit with a grenade, you're not automatically worried that they're going to come finish you off. Now your decision might be a little different. You might hide out for a sec, or you might be thinking they're going to carry on. So you run out and go after them, you know? So I never thought I would want that because I never even thought about it really. But now that I hear that it's in there, it's like they really are thinking about everything, you know, and trying to make these playlists as fun as they can be. And by the way, I forgot to mention, no secondary weapon, just the BR, which I think is cool because it'll encourage people to run out and go pick up a pistol.
There's still weapons on the map.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it's cool that you don't automatically have a secondary weapon. You get into a BR fight with someone, you go to reload, the other person has a quick sidearm, you know, and they take you out. I just love that they thought of all this stuff. And then lastly, the playlist, or excuse me, the game modes.
Yeah, it forces players to run out.
Right.
Sorry, instead of the spawn point, you have to run out into the map and go get a weapon. Right. Now you're putting yourself in danger just to get a weapon. And all of that now comes into play where otherwise you would just have your second weapon.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
I just,
you don't want to just keep relying on, if I have to reload, I'm gonna now be screwed. You're gonna want to find a second weapon.
Yep. I think they are handling this so well. Like I can't believe how much they've really thought. Again, no multiplayer shooter has come out where I'm excited about the ranked mode before it comes out because I know like they're making videos, they're taking time to show us all this information, and then they're having a professional play and show us what it looks like.
Yeah.
When I was watching that video, I was like, this looks like a lot of fun.
They got a pro, and man, he was good, dude.
He was,
right off the bat.
He
got like what, 6 kills before he
got an overkill, 4 kills in a row.
He got like overkill right in the very beginning.
Ridiculous. But I love to go back to the motion tracker being off. I love that because you don't really get assassinations that much. You don't hit people in the back that much in Halo. So I love the fact that you could have like a little wall right here, right? Like a little wall that curves around like this, right? And a guy could be running here. You could pop out here and shoot at him. He's like, oh, I'm backing off. And he backs off. And then you kind of disappear. He doesn't see you. And then you come back. Like you go to act as if you're going to go to the right and you run back left again and punch him in the back. Like I love that there's no radar to let you know, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to really be watching your back at all times. To make sure.
Was there radars in the previous competitive? Like
it depends. They would always split it into two. They'd be like ranked Team Slayer, which there was a radar. Then there was like Team Hardcore, no radar. Your shields pop quicker, things like that. So I like that it seems at least that there's one set playlist, you know, one set way of doing things.
How did they do the ranking in terms of showing your stats to other people in previous Halos?
So Halo 3 and Halo... Actually, that was the last one to do it this way. Halo 3, in my opinion, had the best way of doing it, which was you had something called your highest skill, right? So you could play any of the playlists. If you were someone who likes to play doubles with your buddy, then team doubles, me and you, we'd win a lot. Our rank would go up. We were ranked level 20 in team doubles. And you would see that, okay, Tim's rank in team doubles is 20, but his rank in team Slayer is only 3 because maybe he's not that good at it or maybe he doesn't play it a lot. So you had a highest skill for every category. And when you would
Okay.
play and you'd see someone level 50, you knew you were about to get wrecked because they were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
50 was like, I never got to 50. It was incredibly hard to get to. I got to 45 was the highest I ever got. And
Mhm.
you could win three. By the time you got in the 40s, you could win 3 matches like decisively, like crush them, and you go up one level. And then you lose one match and you're back down one level. So it was super hard
Gotcha.
by the time you got that high. So I hope they do that again this way because Halo 5 was just play and you level up, which I didn't really like as much. The Master Chief Collection, when it came out again on PC, they did like a mix. It was like right now my Team Slayer ranking in Halo 3 on Master Chief Collection is level 15. But I'm also like a field sergeant, whatever, because you keep leveling up just from playing. So it looks like they did both together. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. But the last thing I'll say is the actual game modes they have. Slayer, obviously, everyone loves Slayer. You just kill each other, right? Good time. Capture the flag, I'm not a huge fan of, but I want to be better at it. So I'm all fine with that being in the mix. I want to get better at that game mode. Strongholds, I love. We played that a bunch of times. Take the zones
I
over.
like Stronghold. I think that's my favorite.
Stronghold is great. And I love that they mentioned in the video, I love that new mechanic where if me and you have 2 zones, we're gaining points. If you have three zones, you're gaining more points. But
I thought that whenever we were playing it, I was like, dang, this point system is very smart.
Right. And then you run in there when they have 10 points left, you get your butt in there. It doesn't matter if you take it over or not. If you're capping it and it's halfway down, all the points stop. So you can make a comeback there,
I want to feel Destiny doesn't even do that, and I always am bothered.
I don't think so. I hated that.
Any game like so you have to. So if you have 2 points captured and they have 1 point captured, I forget what happens.
So if you have 2 points captured and they have 1 point captured, you're gaining points at a slow rate. If you have 3 points all captured to yourself, you're gaining them at a fast rate. Okay. But if you only have 1 captured, you're never gaining points ever. But the thing that I like is there were times in the past.
When does it pause? Does it ever pause?
Yep, it pauses when. So before I tell you that, the thing that I didn't like in the past was, let's say, me, you, and Dave are on a team. Let's just say, and whatever.
So I keep having to pause and unpause the show because we're having a lot of technical difficulties. So if we start randomly saying different things at different points, just know that's why. But anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah. Okay. So by the way, I think that's hilarious. Like we're talking about Halo. We're like, what were we talking about? You're like, oh, you were talking about Nintendo. Oh yeah. So Nintendo. Yeah. You have no idea what we're freaking talking about. All right. Anyway, so in Strongholds, it's what I used to hate in these similar, different names, but whatever, same sort of game type. I used to hate when the blue team would have 190, let's say, and the finishing score is 200, right?
Yeah.
And we had 100, so we were down by a lot, right? So we make a final push to try to get in there. Me, you, and Dave all run for the same exact spot because remember, if we can take over one spot, they're no longer gaining points, and maybe we can turn the tide of the game, right? So I hated when me, you, and Dave would run in there. We'd kill everyone in the area, right? Everyone's dead, and now we're slowly starting to cap the zone. We're starting to take it over. But I hated in the past is they wouldn't stop their points while you're capping in the past. And now they do.
If they had 1 point and you had 2, they were still slowly rising points?
No, backwards. If they had 2 and we only had 1, but we're attempting to take over their second one, even though we're slowly taking it over, they're still going up.
Okay, so
now it doesn't.
Now it's pausing when you're trying to take it over.
Exactly. Okay. So you have a chance. If you make a good final push. And I hated that because there were literally times where our team would run in, we'd do really well, kill everyone, we're taking it over, and then the game ends while we're taking it over. You see, because they're still gaining points. It's not fair. So I love that now it's like you get one like literally. Okay, the 3 of us will stop these 3 guys. Tim, you run for their zone and just stick your foot in there. At least we can maybe get over and help you and take it back, So I love that. You can always
feel there's a point, even if there's only 5 seconds before.
Exactly.
They win.
Yep.
Now
you
can
stop it. I love that. I think it's so smart that they really are. This is the epitome of listening to your fans because this is things that people have complained about for a long time. I think that's great. And then finally, the last mode is Oddball, which I love. Oddball is awesome. It's Sort of like
I remember playing it once or twice, not really
yeah.
getting it and never choosing it. What is it?
So Oddball is like this. It reminds me of Capture the Flag a little bit in the sense that you have to carry something around, but after that, the similarities stop. An oddball spawns usually in the middle of the map. Someone runs over, grabs the oddball. Every second that goes by that you have the oddball in your hand, you're gaining points, like you do in like Strongholds or whatever.
Oh, okay, so they're fighting over control of the ball.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
ball
I
is
get it.
mobile, right? You don't have to be in one spot. And
Yeah.
if you punch someone with the ball, it kills them one hit. At least in the past, it used to.
Okay,
I don't know
cool.
about now. So you'd have to be careful and kind of slow down when you approach
I
people.
hope that's still the case because that would be cool.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah. They
definitely
should.
want to. Yeah.
I hope they keep it that way. And I can't remember for sure, but I remember in one game at least, I feel like you could throw the oddball to people, or could you? I can't remember. I don't know if you could toss it to a teammate or if you could just toss it.
Well,
in
now we
general.
know we could at least get rid of items and other people can pick it up.
Right, right.
So when it comes to anything, so we know that's still a function.
That's true. That's true. I wonder if you
But
can.
I wonder if you could straight up pass it.
Yeah, we
Try
used
throw
to.
it at somebody.
We used to sometimes what I would do in like a certain level that was really high up. I would run all the way to the top of like the tower or whatever it was, and they would be chasing me. I'm gaining points. I'm gaining points. Then I get all the way to the top, and then I just jump off and just kill myself with the ball, and then try to get it again when it came back. You know, my teammates grab it. So I love the modes that they picked for this. It's great. So I think that'll be a lot of fun, and it'll keep people on their toes. It's not just killing people. You got to play the objective too. You know, I think people forget that sometimes. So.
I'm getting that special edition like less than a month from now.
Oh man,
I'm so
cannot wait. Is there any? I haven't even honestly looked into it. I know there's the special edition Xbox, but is there any other special edition coming?
There's special edition
Infinite?
controllers.
I know I want that so freaking bad, but it's just so much money. I'm like,
you mean the game itself though, like maybe steelbooks and stuff? You mean?
Yeah, stuff like that. That's what I was wondering.
There is.
There's a Halo Infinite PC accessory. I mean, I don't even know if this is a good keyboard, but it looks really cool. It's got like a...
Oh, that would be cool. A Halo keyboard. Yeah.
Whoa, this is kind of awesome. Although it does... I could be wrong, but it looks kind of cheap at the same time, even though it looks cool. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Is it official or is it just someone?
It looks like it's Halo It just says Halo Infinite PC accessories bundle. It says Razer. Oh, it's a Razer mouse.
No,
okay, maybe it's not.
That's legit. That's legit.
Yeah, this is actually. This looks nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's legit, dude.
Look at that keyboard. That's pretty cool looking. Cool. But anyway, I wonder if there's
$300.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a little too much. But yeah, I'm super excited. So please come out already, Halo. It's a few more months.
December 8th?
8th, I believe.
I think we're right about
Pretty
that.
sure. But
anyway,
very exciting.
I'm pumped. I can't wait. All right, let's get into what we're playing.
All right, let's do it.
I mean, Dread, do we need to... I think we
covered Dread, right? You beat it. I'm about to beat it today. I mean, I hope so. If I imagine I get to next week, I still haven't beat Dread. I'm on the last boss. No, I'll beat it today.
I mean, off the cuff, me just giving like, what do I score it? You know, like it's
sure.
I'm throwing that 9.5. I have very small complaints, but it's almost like
very minor.
It's hard to just be like, well, do I just dump it at 10? But I don't know. But I feel safe. Just hey, here's a 9.5, and
I think that's fair.
And that's realistically where I would throw it. I can't see me throwing it any lower than that. I mean, why would I? No. There's nothing to ding this on.
No, I mean, the lowest I could see is a 9.
They took the Metroid formula and just they perfected it. I don't know.
Yep. That's exactly it. I can't see it being any better than that. The only thing I don't like is I wish you could use the D-pad because I love playing these games with the D-pad.
That was my complaint too. But we're being stupid. You can go into the Switch controls and change it. You could flop the two.
Oh,
I didn't know if you knew that.
I didn't even think of doing that. Wow.
In the Switch options, you can set instead of analog stick as D-pad and D-pad as analog stick.
Wow.
And that way you'd be able to play it with the D-pad.
This is totally unrelated to this, but I have to bring this up right now. So I just randomly when I was looking for the Halo Infinite Special Edition, I found this little Master Chief guy who holds your freaking controller. I mean, how cool is that? I need this. Do you see that? I really need to buy this right now.
see this.
Oh, this is awesome. There's other ones too. There's like Avengers ones.
Oh, that's really
that
nice.
that
Actually,
is
that's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
That's really
I think I need
cool.
to get that. Anyway, just a random
That's not
thing. But
bad. $25.
25 bucks, that's not bad. I mean, and I do have my Xbox controller like sitting on this like sort of like black thing,
That's really
kind of like
nice. I
boring.
really like
So I
that.
think that'd be cool. Yeah, I might grab that.
Cool.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Yeah, Metroid, great game. We talked a lot about that. So what else you playing?
I'm playing New World, but I talked about
You
that
talked about that
already. And then Beat Saber. I've been playing more of that. I've been
awesome
feeling
game.
really bad because I took such a big break from that. What it was is I was playing it pretty regularly. I had like 2 months built up of me doing like 3 times a week, and I had like this workout plan. It shows me calories and all that, and I was
Okay.
really hardcore into it. And then that's whenever like lost my job, got
Right,
COVID, all
right.
these things took place. And then only until like 2 weeks ago did I start picking it back up again. But it feels great.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm
It's a
I'm
great
I'm
game.
I'm back into it, and it's such like it sounds really corny, but it totally works in terms of like a workout session, because I'm telling you, like at the end, I mean, I'm losing like 1,500 calories in like an
That's
hour
amazing,
and a
man.
half session sort of
And
thing,
it's
and
so
I'm
fun. It's like a
pouring sweat.
challenge. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
sick.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very
It's
cool.
really, really cool. So, but that's
I,
what I've been playing.
I want to. I'm gonna hold off because I have it for PSVR, but as you know, I don't know. PlayStation VR is just very like it's just not eloquent. It's just
I
a
wouldn't.
pain,
I
kind of.
wouldn't.
So I'm gonna
The
wait.
bigger thing too is custom songs make or break that game.
Yes, that's what I was
Um,
gonna say next. Yep, yep.
you definitely, I mean, the DLC songs, there's some good ones up in there. There's, I don't know, there's like a Green Day pack, and there's like the
Uh huh.
Billie Eilish pack, or there's a Rocket League songs, which is pretty cool. But eventually you just like, man, I really wish I could just download a song that I'm really
Right.
into and play to that. I mean, you really
That's
want to do
so.
that.
I love that. That's even an option. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna wait until I already have a plan for it. When I move into a house, which is my plan is to go next year, I'm gonna buy one of the PC VR headsets. And when I have all that space and all that set, I'm gonna set up
hmm
the whole thing and yeah, I'm gonna do just that because man, that's a
Oh, one
great
more thing
way.
I wanted to say with Beat
Yeah,
Saber 2, I haven't played in so long. They updated it tremendously. When I
did
started
they?
back up, everything looks so like now when I'm playing, you feel like you're on like this stage of epicness. I don't know how to describe it. With
That's
the
awesome.
light show and the graphics dramatically improved, and just your environment that you're in is way more intense and trippy now. Like whenever I take them headset off compared to it was kind of simple. Even like
Right.
I don't know, 6 months ago compared to now, because I didn't
Sure.
update it for a while, even when I was, but now it's full up to date or whatever. So maybe I was like a year behind, or at least 6 months behind. I don't know, but
Gotcha.
the graphics somehow got way better. It runs a whole lot better. There's a
That's
lot
great.
more effects on screen. There's a lot more going on with the light show as you're playing, and it's all synchronizing to the music, and just the visualization it gives
That's
is
so cool.
so really cool now compared to it was pretty bare bones compared to how it is now. So
That's great,
anyway, I
man.
wanted to mention that too. Like they greatly improved on it.
Which
So
which headset do you think when the time comes that I should get? Is there any
I
recommendations you
mean,
have?
Steam Index is going to be the
That's the
one,
one,
but
right?
it's also like a
Very
grand.
expensive.
So,
Yeah.
I spent 800 on mine because it was the same resolution as the Steam Index headset was.
Uh-huh.
But it didn't come like with the Steam Index. I think you can buy everything separate.
I gotcha.
But like I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't. With the Steam Index, it's 1,000 with the base stations, with the controllers, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that I needed with HTC Vive Cosmos, it ended up being 800. So I saved like $200, but I still got the same resolution. So
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
picked it because I still got the same power out of it. But looking back, I do actually wish I had the base stations and the different. So the faceplate I got. Let me describe this. So there is
Sure.
cameras all around the front plate of the one that I got. Okay,
Okay.
so it's like picking up your controllers with the cameras, and it's also picking up your environments. You don't hit walls and all that, as well as you make a border. But with the Steam Index, it's not using the cameras, it's using base stations as your source of
Oh, I see.
picking up the things. Now I can buy with my headset, I can buy a new faceplate. So instead of the cameras being a part of the faceplate, it's a faceplate that uses the stations instead that I set throughout my room.
Oh, okay.
And that would actually, I wish I would have went that route because that's the superior tracking way. But I didn't. I knew that going in, but a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's not that much of a difference." But now
Right.
knowing one, I know for sure that the base stations is definitely the better route to go. So if I would have knew that going
I
in,
see.
I would
Okay.
have just spent the extra
Okay.
200 because now I'm gonna have to spend more in the end. So now I have to
Right.
buy
Right.
the
Right.
base stations and the new faceplate. Now I'm gonna spend probably 1,200 where I could have spent 1,000.
Right, right. Well, hopefully it'll, jump on sale. I was looking
Yeah,
on Steam right now. Right now it's not on sale, but I know it goes on sale occasionally. But man, it seems like it comes with a lot. Like you even get
it
Half-Life
does.
Alyx, then you have all the other stuff, then you have headset, integrated headphones, cable, the base station, everything. It's like
Alex is still the best VR experience I've had,
that's what everyone
and
says.
it's one of the better games I've ever played. You
I
know,
have to play
it's
the other. Honestly, I haven't
incredible.
played all the Half-Life games. I still got to catch up.
Me
I played through
either,
the
but
first one.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I'll get to it. But yeah, on another
anyway,
note, so for me, obviously we talked about Dread, right? Love it. And try to beat that today. Um, I've been playing Far Cry 6, but again, I haven't really committed to it yet because I've been so invested in Dread. I've probably played about, let's say, 3 hours of Far Cry 6. And
okay.
I I don't know why anyone would have a problem with this game. This game is Far Cry through and through. It is literally Far Cry and then some. I mean, that's what this whole game is. And it's awesome. Like,
So there's a
I,
whole discussion.
right,
I mean, it includes Far Cry, but it goes way bigger. Of like, okay, if a game does what it's good at doing,
right,
why can so many complain about, oh, it's just another Far Cry game? Now, for
right.
me, I'm viewing it that way because I'm getting kind of burned out by the series, but I'm not
Sure.
technically thinking of it less of a game. Like, I'm still
Right.
going to get it, I'm still wanting to play it and all of that. But
Sure.
for me, like, me buying it or not buying it, like, there's a distinction. Like,
Right.
I'm not reviewing it less. I'm not seeing
Right.
it as
Right.
less of a
You're
game
not saying
just
it's a bad
because
game.
it's,
Right.
yeah, people are.
Right.
People
Right.
are dinging the game and thinking of it as less than and all that because
Sure.
it's
Sure.
doing the same thing it did prior. I mean, it's coming up with new ideas, new environments, and all that. But yeah,
It
it's still
is.
sticking to the same formula, I guess you could
It,
say.
the,
But okay, so is Halo, so is Metroid,
right.
so is
Right.
literally any other game series. What do you mean?
The thing
Like
is,
Metal Gear
the way
Solid 2 to 3, oh, it's the same
right.
technically
Right.
baseline. Yeah, sure, but isn't that what video game series
Right,
are? Like
right.
they're
The
still
way I
the
feel
same
about it
baseline.
is they've come up. Here's the thing: is like if you say to me, I don't want to play Far Cry 6 because I played 4, 5, and New Dawn, and I'm kind of burnt out on them. I think that's totally reasonable, right?
Yeah,
But
that's where
but
I'm at. I'm
right,
just kind of
right,
burnt out, and I'm
right.
not in the
But
mood for it.
I think it's case by case. Like for me personally, I played 5 and I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I skipped New Dawn, so for me, it's been a few years, and I haven't had a game like this in a few years. So I'm all for this now. But to say the game is bad is just you're just lying because the game is great looking. First of all, it runs great. I know there was some issues that they're talking about on PC. They must have fixed those because I haven't really had any issues yet.
Okay.
The characters are actually really good. Like I like that it's not just some nameless person that you doesn't speak. No, like you have two characters. They're both named Danny, boy or girl, but they're really really well done. And for me personally, because obviously my background is a Hispanic background, right? But when I play this game, what's up? Like I see so many like caricatures of different kinds of characters, and I'm like, it doesn't bother me, but I just think it's funny. I'm like, oh man, that's definitely not how we talk at all, right? But this
Well,
game,
it's exaggerated, right? That's kind of the
of
point.
course. But
Yeah.
this game does it really well. Like it's very believable, like the way they talk sounds like
Like
my
if they did
freaking
an Italian base, I'm sure it's going to be
right,
exaggerated
right,
Italian. It's not
right,
going to
right,
be like normal,
right.
realistic every day.
But
Like
they actually do it really well. Like it sounds like people in real life that I speak to and speaking in Spanish or the mix of both. But people do that. It seems very believable is what I'm trying to say.
okay.
And the main character is really good. Like I actually care about this character already, only a few hours in. So I like all that. And then of course the villain, the guy from Breaking Bad. I mean, he's awesome. Every time he comes on screen, it's great.
What
It's
I
like captivating.
always wished, and I'm kind of hoping this game finally solves it. I don't know. With
Sure.
the villains, I don't think they get enough
They
limelight. They're
they don't.
always
They
such
don't.
a big like marketing thing and so big. Oh, and everyone talks about it. But then when you play through the game, it's like, what do
Right.
they
You
have?
see
An
him.
hour tops?
Yeah, I do agree with
I
I
wish
feel
they
the
were
same
in it
way.
more.
I feel the same way, but I also wonder what would it look like a game where you do see him a lot? Would they have the same impact? Would it not really matter as much? I don't know because we haven't gotten
I
that, you
think you
know?
can do it. I don't know. I'm for example, I'm playing No More Heroes 3, and the
Right.
villain, every time, like as you're playing through the story,
Sure.
it'll cut to whatever he's doing at the
Okay.
moment
That'd
and
be
then go
cool.
back. You could do moments like
You
that
could. You
throughout
could.
it. You don't have to. He doesn't actually have to be present.
Well, now that you mentioned that,
You could still show what he's
right.
doing.
Now that you mention that, you're right because in Far Cry games, I can't think of one time where they've ever shown what the villain is thinking on their own outside of it. You
Yeah,
know, I've
I've
never
always
seen that.
wanted that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Maybe that's a good way to do it. But I will
Anyway,
say I think the game so far is really good, and they did actually change quite a bit. Like you don't level up, you don't upgrade the same way you used to. Before in the past, you get points, you'd pick from a skill tree, you'd pick, you deviate. I'm gonna go down the hunting path or the stealth path, whatever. Now
mhm.
it's a little different. It's more like a cumulative thing, where you're just gaining. You get money for your guns and stuff. You can do whatever you want there. But then it's like it's like more streamlined now. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you can still do everything you did before. It's a very different approach now, though, and you can still stealth as always. The enemies are kind of stupid at times. Of course, you're gonna have that.
I don't
Where
think I would stealth. I think I would want to have
yeah,
fun
yeah, I
and
have fun
jump
with it.
on
I don't
places. Yeah, yeah,
because it's too easy to go up and stab the guy with a machete one by one. So I just go in
yeah.
guns blazing at times. It's a really silly game. You can do like cockfighting, and when you do the cockfighting, they get meters of health above them, like Street Fighter. And then when the one chicken kills the other chicken, it's like KO. It's like really silly
Nice.
stuff like that. So I think it's a fun game, man. I'm liking it so far. So
There was that PETA is of course hating on it.
oh, of course, come on,
Typical. Yeah,
of
yeah,
course. You can't do something in a freaking fake game, but I do really like the whole historical aspect of it. Like it really obviously
cool.
feels like Cuba, and these guys are all guerrillas and they're fighting back, and there's
Yeah.
rebels, and I just think all that's really cool. So, so I'm gonna see how I like it, but so far I'm enjoying it.
I have a close friend who's
Yeah.
Cuban and like
Uh-huh.
I think he was born there but came over
Sure.
here whenever he was real little.
Right.
So like his mom, dad, other brothers, sisters, blah blah, they're from there and all that. And
Right.
they talks about it all the time. So I'm very curious. Like I want him to play it, and I
Yeah. See his
want to like
perspective.
hear his. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So I'll have more to say about that next week, I'm sure. But I want to talk about what I've been watching too. So let's do Venom too, because I could have less to say about that. Venom is an interesting movie because the first one, it wasn't a great movie. It was kind of fun to watch, but there were like things I would watch them do and say, and I'm like, this is made by Sony. This is like a
I
big
never
company.
saw either one.
So I'd say if you watch it, don't pay for it. At least just watch it somewhere free or something. But this is Sony making this, a huge company. Like, why does this feel like a B tier movie that I found on like Netflix one night or something? I'm just baffled by it. And then Venom 2, same thing. It wasn't great. I like Tom Hardy. He's kind of fun in it. And the whole idea of like Venom like pops out behind him and talks and stuff. I don't know, man. It's just kind of corny. Like Venom talks like this. Give me your
Carnage
food.
in this.
Carnage is in this one too, but Carnage doesn't appear until maybe like I don't know, more than like halfway through the movie probably. And then they have a fight and stuff, but it's a very forgettable movie, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Nothing great. They have a like a stinger at the end after the credits that is really cool. That I think
I
made
did
me like
see
the movie
that.
a little more. Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Well, I didn't see what it was, but I saw people saying,
yeah.
"Oh, there's a thing at the end." Yeah,
that was actually really cool. So
about. I guess
at least something.
Well, I don't even want to. Yeah.
No, I won't say it, but it's cool because what's happening, it seems, is Marvel is starting to integrate more with like the Sony properties and stuff like that. So that's awesome. So that's cool. But more importantly, I watched Squid Game, which is the new, big hit on Netflix, the Korean sort of like thriller.
So you finally watched it?
I finally watched it.
I still need to see it.
Yeah, I think it's worth watching for sure.
Okay.
it's first of all, the reason why I even knew about this show is the kids at school, fifth grade kids
I
talking
mean,
about.
everyone's talking
I
about
mean,
it.
everyone. You're right, everyone. But the place I
Yeah,
first heard it
yeah,
was the kids
yeah.
at school. They're all like, this is not a spoiler by any means. It's literally in the trailer.
It
But
doesn't sound like kids should be watching it
no,
from my
no,
perspective.
totally not. But you know what's
Okay.
interesting is the game Red Light Green Light has been around since like the beginning of time, right? Everyone knows
Yeah.
that game. But it's so funny how now I see all the kids at recess, Red Light Green Light. I'm like, what are you guys playing? They're like, we're playing Red Light Green Light. I'm like, yeah, but did something happen?
Why
Did I
all
miss
of a
like
sudden?
why all
Yeah,
of a sudden
yeah,
you guys playing this game?
yeah.
Oh, have you seen Squid Game? I'm like, oh god. So I checked it out. I looked it up and I was like, this is definitely not something you should be watching. But the reason why they play it is because it's like the first game or whatever. I don't want to say much more, but
Okay.
it's the first episode. Anyway, it's 9 episodes and I watched it with my wife and she's not like
So you finished it?
I finished the whole thing,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm someone who, when I watch Korean or Japanese films, I always do subtitles. I just prefer that. I like hearing the natural voices, and that's just how I am. But she doesn't really like that, so we watched it dubbed. I wouldn't recommend that. I say watch it the normal way because it's so corny. The dub is like, what game are we going to play now? And their lips are still moving. So I'm like, no, I can't do this. But it was really great, man. It's very interesting. It keeps you guessing. It has like a lot of that crazy like Korean and Japanese, like they push the limit sometimes, like American shows don't sometimes.
But I think that.
It's really cool. I think it's totally worth watching. It's very gruesome at times and very like morbid, but yeah, it's good. And apparently the most popular Netflix show ever, which is just crazy to me.
What I did see, my kid was watching somebody play Roblox, and
they
did
doing
a
Squid Game
Roblox version. So I saw that, and I saw the red light, green light thing.
Right.
I saw the scene to where they're in like sleeping quarters, and the lights turn off and then turn back on, and there's a whole thing with that.
That's so funny that they recreated that.
And apparently, like in the Roblox, they're like, "Oh, lights off," and they start beating the crap out of each other.
Yep. Oh my god, Roblox is too funny, man. That game is on some. I saw a video the other day where it's like people are getting into shootouts in Roblox now. I'm like, I gotta see this video, and I literally saw a video. It's a little blocky Roblox character walks into a party, everyone's dancing, music's playing, he starts shooting people. I'm like, what the heck is this, man? But yeah, the way that this game has this show has caught on is kind of crazy. It's like a phenomenon. Like I think everyone needs to watch it and see.
But surprisingly, seeing that little Roblox thing got me being like, oh, well, I see the appeal of the show now. I get like now it makes me want to see it because I saw that. As funny as it is.
Yeah, check it out. If you start watching, let me know what you think. I'd say give it 1 or 2 episodes and see what you think. But it shows the attention span on these kids because they only know red light, green light, which is the first episode. So that makes me think maybe they dropped off after that
and just like a parent kicked in and
yes
parented them for once.
So yeah, we'll see what you think if you check it out.
All right, so
talk about some new games real quick.
So we're just gonna go through the calendar here.
Yeah, let's go.
Now we did a special show last week, so we didn't go over. So it's gonna be stuff from last week and this week coming, but. So Back for Blood, for example, that was October 12th. PlayStation 5, X and S, PS4, Xbox One, PC. I have been playing this with a friend. I've put in maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Most people are getting the complaints correct. I agree with him. So I mean, okay. I think the game is actually good, like well done. I do think it's very Left 4 Dead. I do really enjoy it. Really good shooting, really good optimization, runs great, looks great, whether you're on PC, console, whatever. Very well optimized, which Left 4 Dead Valve always been really good about that too. So anyway, but it's the same team and stuff, so they know what they're doing. And it's really fun. I love all the monsters. The game's great, okay? The downside is like the balance, and a lot of people mention this. And most games, if a game, we were talking about Metroid Dread, it's too hard. This game actually does. So there's a like easy, medium, and hard. They call it something different, but easy, medium, hard. Okay.
Right.
Easy is like a tad too easy. So we're like, okay, well, let's play on medium. it's impossible, bro. I'm
Oh
telling
my
you, the
god.
difficulty spike is huge. What I'm imagining is they were thinking like, you ever play Diablo? I don't know if you have.
Yeah, a little bit, not much.
But Diablo does this thing to where you play on the easiest difficulty, and then as you play through, it unlocks the next, and you can choose it,
Oh, I
and then you
see.
can start playing in that. You go a little further, and you can choose the hardest, and then and it goes with you, and you can choose a few difficulties ahead. But there's like 10 tiers, for example, so you can be in tier 3, jump to tier 5 if you want, and it'd be way harder. It doesn't let you jump to tier 6 till you get a little further. Oh, now I can jump to tier 6 where I should be playing in tier 4 or something like that. What I'm getting
Gotcha.
at, it still technically limits you from going too far. This game feels like, because you unlock cards and all these systems as you play, I feel it should probably lock you to the just not even choose a difficulty setting. And then once you play a little bit of it, now you can go into a harder mode now that you have the materials to do so. Because as you collect more cards, now you get all these buffs
I
you get
gotcha.
like debuffs that the stage does, and then you get buffs that you do to all of your crew. But when you
Oh,
first
okay.
start in the game, you would have to have these buffs to even make it possible. I'm telling you, right when it starts, you're 5 minutes in, there's 6 or 7 huge monsters. They kill you in like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Your whole
Wow.
team's wiped out and dead, and it's way,
Jeez.
way, way, way too hard. So now we're stuck just on easy, but it kind of feels a little too easy,
I see.
and the difficulty stuff needs to be addressed. It's
Right.
it's
No, it
way
sounds
out of
like it
whack.
is. Yeah,
Um,
that's not fun.
so that's the problem, because I feel the game is well made otherwise, but this
Okay.
is a huge hindrance because
That
I
is.
don't want to be feeling like, oh, it's way too easy. But then if I bump it up, we're immediately dying. I mean, we can't even make it a minute without dying, no matter how
People are gonna
hard we
drop
try.
off. People are gonna
Yeah.
drop off if that's
And
the
I'm
case.
seeing
So
a bunch of people saying the same stuff. So, I mean, I've
gotcha.
seen people that I know for sure are really, really good at PS games far beyond me, and they're dying
Right.
immediately. And
Right. That's
so
too bad.
it's real weird
Hopefully they
right now.
fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, Disco Elysium, October 12th.
Check that out. Check that out if you haven't.
Yep. Monster Crown. I don't know what this is. I looked it up and it looks interesting. I just forgot already because it was a few days ago and I looked it up. But I only include stuff in this list if I actually think it's worthwhile. So I must have seen this worthwhile, but I forgot what it was. But anyway, let's
All right.
let's see if we can Monster Crown. Hold on.
Monster Crown. Never heard of that.
Let's just see an image. I know it'll pop in my head immediately once I see it. Yeah, you're gonna have to see screenshots. It
Oh
looks
god.
very unique. I don't know. I thought it looked interesting. It's almost like
Okay.
Pokemon or something,
I'll take a look.
but there's a lot of more going on than just Pokemon. Anyway, yeah,
Oh,
it
I
looks
see. I
cool. It
see.
looks cool.
Okay. It does look like
Um,
Pokemon a little bit. I mean, it really does. Attack, escape,
yeah,
switch, offer.
yeah.
Okay. I got it. All right. Let's keep
PlayStation
going.
4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, October 12th.
All
The
right.
Ori Collection released on Switch, October 12th. Pick that
Great
up. If,
games.
I mean, honestly, I would play it on Xbox or PC because I think like the better
It's so beautiful.
resolution
You
and
gotta,
it's so
yeah.
pretty. Yeah.
Yep.
Dungeon Encounters. This looked really cool. PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, October 14th. Jackbox Party Pack. Have you ever played any of the Jackbox games with people?
I've
I think
played that. I've
I think
played
they're
some of
cool.
them. Yeah. I think they're a
Newest
lot of
one.
fun. I like that all the phones can connect to it very easily. I mean, very
Yeah,
seamlessly. You know,
it's
people who are
very
not gamers.
accessible. Even for streaming, because you can throw it up and people can even enter a code just to watch,
Right.
even if they can't join in the play. So you could have
Right.
like 50 people watching.
That's so cool. I love that.
All consoles. The Rift Breaker. This looked really cool. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and X, PC.
Okay.
Crisis Remastered Trilogy. They
Wait,
had
I
like the
didn't.
first remaster, but now the trilogy's out.
Oh, I did not know
Um,
they were remastering all three. That's actually really
yep.
cool. Oh, I
And
might
I
have to
actually
check that one
really
out.
like 2 and 3. I mean, I like them all. I'm actually a big fan of the whole series.
That's big. I didn't know that.
And there's a Digital Foundry video that goes into all of them, and I think it's really well done. And that got me pretty hyped on it because they did a lot of work into these. remasters, like for real,
Very
for real.
cool.
I was very surprised. Anyway, that's actually going to all systems, even Switch. It's
Very
really
cool.
cool to have a Crisis remastered on a handheld. But,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Demon Slayer. I can't even begin to pronounce this game, but there's a new Demon Slayer game
Kimetsu
on
no
all platforms.
Yaiba, the Hinokami. I don't know if that said that right, but gave it my
October
best shot.
15th. NHL 22, October 15th. And the newest Dark Pictures anthology, which I have yet to play any of them. That
I've
would
played
be a
them.
cool game that we could. You did?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. I've played them, but you're right. It is a game that we could play together for sure. I usually play these games more than once, so I have a friend that I've played the first two with, and I'm gonna play this with. But if you want to play it too, it's free. It's free to get you to play it with me if I buy it.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm definitely down to do that.
I
It's
want to
fun.
try one, yeah. And they're all separate things, right? So
Right.
it's not like I need to.
I will say though, these guys made Until Dawn, and I loved
Apparently,
it.
the quality is not that great. I do
Right.
know this.
So
So
Until Dawn was amazing. I loved Until Dawn. I thought it was super well done. Very, very good. Then Man of Medan came out. It was okay. I won't say it was a bad game, but it was very underwhelming. Not much there.
that's one. I haven't played it, but it's like you're in a ship, right?
You're on a ship. Yep. There's some weird stuff going on. What is cool though is some of the mechanics were very well done. Even though I thought the game itself was just okay, it was cool because
I
your
like
buddy.
the collaborative effort of
Yeah.
like, hey, you're trying to figure something out, and your buddy can figure things out and go into a whole nother area than where you're at,
Right.
and you're kind of feeding off of each other on like what you know and
Yep.
what he knows to put the pieces together. I like that aspect of it.
I thought that was so cool, and you really would separate entirely, and you'd be seeing things, he'd be seeing things, and we're talking over Discord, right? But then my buddy's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Whoa, what just happened? I'm just in a room looking at something. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh my god, some guy just attacked me." It's like really cool like that, you know. Cool. So they nailed that, but I feel like they're progressively getting better. The second one was, what the heck was it called again? Little Horrors, something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but basically it was, you had a group of kids. And it's like they're other versions of themselves from like 100 years ago or in the past. You see what's happening there, and somehow it's slowly connecting the two. That was a little more interesting. Still thought it was okay, but better than the first one. So I have high hopes for this one. It looks like they're slowly getting better and better. Okay. This one's like in the middle of like some Afghan conflict or something. There's some soldiers out in the desert, and they're seeing visions and all this stuff. It sounds really interesting. So yeah, I want to check this one out and see. This is supposed to be like 6 games though, or something crazy like that. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was 6 games is what they were going to total on.
It's nuts, but it's there's a famous person. I'll tell you right now, can't remember her name. House of Ashes, and I forgot to mention, there's also the narrator. He's always really good, in these games. Like he's like aware of what's happening, even things that we don't know are happening, you know? Okay. And he says like, "Oh, you made this choice. That's interesting. Let's see what happens next." It's kind of cool how it like breaks the fourth wall. But the girl's name is Ashley Tisdale. She's like a famous actress. She's been in some movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know she is.
It looks cool. So we'll see.
But yeah, that's all the games coming out, and that will pretty much do it for the show.
Wrap it up.
I'm pretty excited next week. So I wanted to do this thing to where I've been really into Nintendo Force magazine, and I wanted to do a segment of going through a magazine because I don't know, it's like big memory that I had as like a kid and teenager of just looking through a magazine, look through it all. So I got the digital version. We'll just throw it up on the screen. So make sure to actually watch the video version next week. And that way you can follow along with it, all that. But we'll try and talk through it. But it's really cool to see, I don't know, because we're so used to now just websites and forum posts and all that. But a magazine layout is very different. And there's just something it brings that we still have yet to achieve with like current media, I feel.
Agreed.
And whenever I'm going through this magazine, I'm like, man, this does hit a lot different.
It
feels really nice.
Yeah, it totally does. All right, cool. Well, take care, everyone. See you next time, I guess.
I'll see y'all.